Hello, friends, and welcome to the 7.22 patch notes analysis with me and Braximus. Brax, how are you, friend? It's been so long. I miss you.
I'm good. Yep. It's been since last video, I think.
Probably. I haven't done a patch video in maybe a year, I feel like. So I need to preface before we get started that this might be good for people that want to get back into Dota because I'm going to be asking a lot of stupid questions because, like I said, I didn't play for 6 months, and there's some patch notes that I just never read, right? So a lot of my knowledge that coming back into Dota is from playing against heroes and learning that way instead of actually reading all the patch notes from the last year. So I'm going to say some stupid stuff, but I'm excited because this is an Agonal Scepter patch, Brax. It was made for me, which means I have to update my list. That's what it means.
There's actually so many. I don't actually... How can people remember all this? You know, especially if they haven't played in a long time.
We'll get into that too. There's a couple. I mean, again, we're not gonna. We'll go through each thing individually. Occasionally, I will show something in game if I'm interested enough to show it. But yeah, let's get started. So, first things first. Added new Scepter upgrades for all the 24 remaining heroes without an upgrade. Dear God, that is music to my ears. Updated various old Scepter upgrades. Okay, which we're gonna read about, of course. Scepter can now be consumed as a buff by purchasing a 2,000 gold recipe upgrade. Scepter buffs do not grant secondary stat bonuses. All right, I want your thoughts on this before I go ham.
All right. Basically, why play with Alchemist anymore? You know, you used to endure this guy just farming for 30 minutes, being completely useless, and then he says, guys, don't worry, I'm going to buy you an axe. And then you're thinking, all right, you know, this guy's not so bad. And of course, now he's just not going to do that. Now he says, no, go buy your own eggs, you know?
Well,
it's cool for late game, right? When you already have 6 items and then you buy an eggs.
If they're good enough, though, and I think that's how we want to rate them for now, just first impressions when we read about them, whether they're even, like, is it still an Alch Ags, right? Some of them, I'll spoil it now, are bad enough that are probably Alch Ags, right? Some of them are like, all right, if I'm super farmed and it's like my 7th slot, as it were, because you can eat it now, I don't know. This is a cool-ass change. I don't know if it makes it more complicated for people, but I'm glad that all the heroes at least have Ags now. That, in some ways, makes it easier, right? So, let's continue. Roshan now drops a consumable Scepter buff item. This one, I was actually laughing when I read it. The third Roshan will randomly drop either a consumable Scepter item or a refresher shard. So either one is, in most cases, I would assume, actually useless, because you don't need one that early, right? It's just that means you're getting rid of the stats of an Ags at that point of the game, right?
Is that what that means?
So the Scepter buff item, right?
Oh, okay, you're right, because it does say it gives you the consumable Scepter buff item. So you don't actually get the Ag stats, you just get the ultimate effect, right? That's what it sounds like, but I'm not actually sure.
Well, it sounds like it's literally the recipe on the ground. Am I reading that wrong? You know what I mean? It's the 2,000 gold recipe, which I don't know if you can sell.
I thought it was everything. You know, like it gives you the Agonal Scepter buff, and you use it on someone when you want to get their Ags or something like.
We have no way to test this. I don't know the answer to this question. Okay, well, one is shitty, one is really good, one is like insanely good. All right, some people are saying that it does give the Ags, but if that does, then that's insane. That's really good. Okay,
that's
very cool.
Nice.
And then, so it's between the two, and you can check Roshan to see which one it's going to have before it drops. The 4th Roshan has both, and you can select Roshan, and I just said that. And added a new visual effect on the heroes that have a Scepter upgrade. This is something from Dota 1, old school ass stuff.
This is the biggest buff, actually.
Really?
I don't know if you've seen it, but remember how in Dota 1 they all had their like specific things? It's not so specific, it's not so unique anymore, but you have like a blue aura, basically. So it looks...
Yeah, I'm surprised it took so long, right? Were they just waiting for this to be for all the heroes or something like that? That was weird, but it is what it is. All right, so I don't want to spend too much time on some of this stuff, so I might skip, and I'm not going to skip. I'll read it, but we won't talk about much. This is more from you. Added Mars and Io to Captain's Mode, which they did get some changes as well, which we'll get to eventually. What are your thoughts, just competitively speaking?
You probably won't see them in competitive for quite some time. They'll be permaban. That's usually how it goes. It doesn't matter how good or bad they are; they're just banned every game because they changed the flow of everything. Because in competitive, everything is relative. Like if there's one hero that's just better than the rest, he's always going to be picked, always going to be banned. But now, let's say Mars counters, something that's like that strength. Then you end up in this triangle situation where things counter each other and or they're good against each other, and you probably won't see it. That's my long roundabout way of saying it. You probably won't see it for some time.
Okay, good to know. All right, deny XP granted to the enemy. The player being denied increased from 35% to 40. Death cost change from 50 plus net worth divided by. Okay, we don't need to actually read the specific formula. So changes there. Any quick thoughts about that, or
not really?
Looks like
it gets
pretty
slowly
slight.
It gets changed by like 5%, 10%, like 3 patches in. So
Yeah.
slowly moving away towards that, but nothing crazy.
Kill streak XP bounty increased from 200 to 1250 to 400 to 1800. So you get more. That's nice. Always a good thing. XP requirement to reach level 5/6 reduced from 600/620 to 580/600. So a little bit less. But then at level 19, it's been increased by 100 at each level. Or 19 plus, I should say. So it ends up... So you get the later levels slightly slower, if I'm reading this right. Range creeps XP now increased by 8 per upgrade cycle, which is every 7.5 minutes. Okay, these seem like kind of minor changes to me.
Yeah, definitely. The
kill streak sounds like a
streak
lot.
bounty one. That's pretty crazy. From 200 to 400, that's double. That's twice as good.
Yeah. All right, siege creeps base attack time increased from 2.7 to 3, so they attack slower. Anytime it says base attack time means the higher it is, the slower it is. Siege creeps now spawn 2 units at 35 minutes instead of 30. Siege creeps can no longer be dominated, enchanted, or converted. Do you like this change?
No, there's no lore explanation or anything. It's just a nerf. Yeah, why can't they be converted? What happened? What did 7.22 change? No, but how weird. Like you'd see Chen with like an army of siege creeps run around and blow everything up.
Do you see Chen,
now
though?
what do you do?
Do you see
You used
Chen?
to. Not
Enchantress.
Anymore.
I feel like Enchantress is the more common one, right?
Yeah. But now, like Helm of the Dominator, that's a big nerf for that item.
True.
It's that's a pretty weird change because usually you see things like that are more fast paced. Like when the game gets a little slower, a little stale, they start making these small, subtle changes to speed up the pace of the game. But this kind of just takes it the opposite way.
Okay. Interesting. I was actually expecting the opposite reaction from you. I thought pro players would like that change because it just kind of feels cheesy to get rushed down by like 2 siege units all of a sudden,
It's cheesy, but I'm the one that buys Helm of the Dominator, so of course I'm not gonna like it.
Gotcha. Tier 3 plus towers damage increased from 152 to 175. Tier 1 tower protection aura armor bonus increased from 2 to 3. The Tier 2 plus tower protections aura armor bonus increased from 4 to 5. And this is probably the most interesting one. Tier 2 and higher towers now have a multi-shot attack when Glyph is activated. Attacks up to 2 additional targets. Prioritizes the closest units. That's a wacky one. What do you think?
How weird. I'm just gonna I can't even imagine it because it's never been like this before. Played this game forever. I can't imagine that Tier 2 plus towers. Like, look at the wording on this. I've never seen any changelog with this kind of wording. Tier 2 plus tower.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's just weird, but whatever. Nothing crazy, honestly. Glyph happens once every 5 minutes.
There's a mod. What was it? What mod is that? Is that Dota Imba, I think? When the tower gets really low, it starts shooting really fast. It kind of reminds me of that. Obviously not exactly the same, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that actually affects gameplay. Slightly adjusted Radiant safe lane hard camp position and the terrain nearby. These I'm not going to really talk about. Reduce the chase duration of the hard camp neutrals on the Radiant safe lane area. Radiant middle tier 2 tower is now moved further to the left, aka no longer has vision over the big camp on the right. Adjusted tree line to the right of the Radiant middle tier 2 tower. The Radiant mid lane medium camp now has 2 layers of trees behind it, and adjusted various dire neutral spawn boxes. Is this worth talking about at all? It just seems like
it's a bunch of small Radiant nerfs. The only real one is the Radiant mid lane medium camp. Now you have to eat 2 trees. so you can farm the jungle camp next to the lane. So it just means you need a Quelling Blade instead of Tangos. Not really anything, honestly.
Interesting. Illusions can now lifesteal, and lifesteal now works against enemy illusions. I'm trying to think where this becomes actually, like, where does this actually matter? Pale illusions die like instantly. Not that
the second one matters when you have Satanic, because if you're surrounded by
Hmm.
illusions and you accidentally hit an illusion, you don't lifesteal.
Okay.
That's the only application I can find for it, honestly. Not much.
This could be one of those things where it just, if a new player is coming in, it just doesn't make sense why illusions wouldn't allow you to lifesteal.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Maybe that's just one of those changes, but we'll see. The following items are no longer partially shareable: Ring of Regen, Ring of Tarask, Sage's Mask, Ring of Health, Void Stone, and Perseverance. What does that mean by partially shareable?
So that means that Enigma, for example, could start with a Ring of Regen and pull it to at the beginning of the game, and you would get the regeneration stats from it. That's it.
Say that again. Why is that partially shareable?
Because you see how Ring of Tarask gives you health also? You wouldn't get that stat. You would only get regeneration applications of any of these items. But that just happens to be the only.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Base armor for Roshan increased by 2. The attack damage per minute increased from 4 to 6. Last hit gold bounty changed from 150 to 400 to 225 to 325. So it's the same average, just higher or lower ceiling and higher floor. And the last hit XP bounty for Roshan reduced from 750 to 400. I don't think this is worth really talking about. It just feels like every patch, it's just Roshan gets slight tweaks. Yep. Satyr Tormentor's Unholy Aura HP regen reduced from 5.5 to 5. The timer that credits a player for a kill when Radiant/Dire get the final hit is increased from 20 to 30 seconds. What does this mean exactly?
So
if you do enough damage to a hero and they die 30 seconds later from a tower, the person gets the kill.
Yes.
It's just been extended from 20 to 30 seconds. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. Okay. Because in competitive, people hit each other, kill some guy, and then they suicide at the tower afterwards. Okay. That's all.
All right. I didn't realize it was 20 seconds. That seems like a long-ass time. All right.
You know, it's actually different for First Blood. If there's no kill first, then it's 40 seconds for some unknown reason.
Huh. Okay. A bunch of heroes have now... So everyone's attack speed starts at 100, not including like agility, correct? Mm-hmm. Now that is changing. This is making it slightly more complicated for newer players. It's my one gripe, I guess. We'll talk about these with each hero because it's actually listed down there. But some heroes just have a higher base attack speed now. And same with the mana regen values. So that's changed a bit. All right. Let's get on to items. Okay. Observer Ward cost decreased again for the millionth time. From did these used to be 200 something gold at some point?
Yeah, there used to be 200 for a pack of 2, and you couldn't buy just one.
Yeah. Okay. So now they go from 75 to 50. The gold bounty increased from 100 plus 2 per minute to 100 plus 4 per minute. The XP bounty increased from 50 plus 4 per minute to 50 plus 6 per minute. So slightly more gold, or XP and gold for these bad boys. Let me do the sentries, then you can talk about it.
Sure.
Cost of sentries decreased again from 100 to 75, but this is probably the biggest change in maybe the entire patch. I could be wrong. They now have a stock limit, max of 10, which the starting capacity is 4, and the replenish rate is 70 seconds. What do you think about this? Is that as big as I think, or am I over analyzing?
This is such a weird one, because at the end of the game, you can look at the scoreboard to see how many observers and sentries people bought, and when 5 positions spend all their money on sentries, they end up buying like 40 to 50 sentry wards over the course of an entire game. And replenish rate of 70. Does this even change anything? I feel like it doesn't. I don't even think you would hit the cap.
I didn't even think about that.
You know, now in my pubs, I have an excuse to not buy sentry wards. I can just say I've already hit the cap. I can't spend my money there. I gotta buy my Aether Lens.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see this come into play against a whole bunch of invis or something. But
so over the course of the game, I think I would generally agree. But what if you hit, like you win a couple big team fights and you have a huge gold lead, and suddenly you can buy all the sentries you want. You can only get up to 10. Versus, I mean, would you have more than 10 before? I don't know. I don't know the answer to
Exactly,
that
right?
question. You can't buy 20 anymore. Tell you what.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we've
don't know, I
seen like
suppose.
carries buy a bunch of sentries like super late game, right?
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
Okay. All right. That one, we'll see how that ends up playing out. Tome of Knowledge, the initial 10-minute stock now provides 2 tomes and has a 5-minute use cooldown.
Oh boy, another way to grief games. Take 2
Yeah.
tomes on the same hero, sit there and wait 5 minutes till you can get that juicy. That's gonna be me.
Yeah. I can see the abuse. That's the first thing I thought of as well. I don't know if that's us being cynical or just Dota players. Probably both.
Yeah.
But more XP for people, generally speaking, right? Even if it's for that
it
one
makes
person.
in some games like the losing team, like the big difference will be that the 5 position is extremely poor and super underleveled. Like they won't hit 6 to like 15 minutes in the game, and the 4 needs a tome. I mean, this it makes the game a bit more even because it's more accessible to everyone. Like the difference between being 5 and 6 is huge, whereas being 6 and 7 is not that big. So it's interesting for competitive for sure.
So Solo from Virtus Pro will probably be getting both tomes every time, right? You would think.
Yep. He's the secret carry on that team.
What if it had a 10-minute cooldown? Then you can't abuse it other than just holding it for no reason, right?
Yeah, but this is so deliberate, you know. Now
Yeah.
has a 5-minute use cooldown. Like it's so that this possibility is. Can you imagine like going into a game trying to coordinate, guys? I'm taking both tomes. I need my 25 real bad, and it's like 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to make a bold prediction here, Brax, that this will be tweaked in the future. Maybe even like in the next few days. I just can't see this not being abused on some level, but who knows?
It's super abusable for sure.
So this one is going to be a mini rant for me. I have Scotty. Slow duration change from 5/2.5 for melee range attackers to a constant 3. Okay, that's fine. Slow amount reduced from 35% to 20 when used against melee heroes. Slow amount increased from 35% to 45% when used against ranged heroes. Attack speed slow now matches the movement slow values above. So there's been so many changes over the last few years where they're trending towards newer player experience. This makes, I don't know if it's just me, this makes it more complicated. Now you have to worry about, like, first of all, I didn't think they should have had the melee range thing to begin with. I like that it's 3 seconds now. That's fine. Like the length of time. What do you think about it? Does this make it, is it just because they've changed this stuff so much over the 15 years I've been playing this and Dota 1 that it's just fucking with my mind on all levels? You know what I mean?
I think you need to get with the time, Shannon. Now there's
Fuck you.
Dragon Lance, Hurricane Pike. You know, you've got these items for range. Where's the melee? That's what this is.
Okay. I mean, 45% slow against ranged heroes. That seems pretty massive.
You're not moving if you get hit once.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, your item, Helm of the Dominator, now has a 300 gold recipe. So it's more expensive,
sad.
less useful.
This is just so sad.
What happened, bro?
Like, it's sad because if you're having a really good game, it would line up with when the Siege Creep came out, and you could buy Helm of the Dominator and have it on the first Siege Creep, and that's when you would completely destroy the game. And then now there's a recipe on top of not being able to use it on Siege Creeps anymore. Like,
All right, what if
it's so weird.
What if they introduced a new neutral creep that did siege damage to the tower? Would that make up for it in some
Then it
ways?
would probably have like 100 HP and 0 move speed or something stupid because Valve just hates Siege Creeps. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Probably true. Okay. Yeah, Helm of the Dawn, that's very interesting. So 2 nerfs. Pipe of Insight, HP regen aura reduced from 3 to 2. Mech HP regen aura reduced from 4.5 to 3.5. Guardian Greaves HP regen aura reduced from 4.5 to 3.5. And the Threshold bonus armor reduced from 15 to 10. Threshold bonus armor. That's when you get low enough. Is that what that means?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's right.
Any thoughts on these healing items?
There's been a power creep, Shannon. Health regen has been on the rise for far too long.
Okay.
Every aura item in the entire game gives health regen, and now Valve has finally cut back, and there's one gone from every.
Okay.
You won't even notice. It's actually fucking meaningless.
And this is how you should approach the rest of these patch notes: is you're talking to somebody who hasn't. Let's just pretend I haven't played in a year, because like I had no idea that aura items were that OP right now. Absolutely no idea. So that's good to know. Mask of Madness movement speed bonus increased from 25 to 30. Okay. Rod of Atos, strength and agility reduced from 12 to 10. This is I've seen a lot of people buy Rod of Atos, so I was expecting some sort of a nerf. Do you think this is enough?
It's been nerfed twice now.
Okay.
It was extremely popular, built on almost everyone at some point. Then it got slightly nerfed, and it's still almost everywhere. I mean, you're still going to buy it for the same reasons, right? Just to root someone. It seems fine, honestly.
Okay. And again, stupid question. They changed the root mechanics, and now I'm all mixed up. Does it cancel TPs?
Yes. Rod of Atos cancels TPs.
But it doesn't cancel channeling spells. Is that correct?
I might have to go into a demo and check that, because
that's okay. It's complicated.
Sure, we'll see. No,
that's what I'm talking about.
There's some that don't stop channeling, like Treant ult. It doesn't stop Black Hole anymore.
Treant ult, really?
Yep. Okay. Treant ult, both roots that he has do not stop channeling, but they stop TP. It's
that
weird.
doesn't feel consistent at all.
Rewritten.
Okay. Very interesting. Drum of Endurance mana regen reduced from 1.5 to 1.25. Vlad's mana regen reduced from 1.75 to 1.5, so pretty minor on both accounts. Spirit Vessel, which I've heard is super OP in the aggressive way. Heal reduction reduced from 70 to 60%. And current health as damage per second reduced from 5 to 4. So that's probably the bigger nerf, I would assume, since most people are using it aggressively. Is that actually correct, or am I just talking out of my ass?
No, you're right. It is definitely mostly used aggressively. It was defensively when it had healing amplification, but that got removed. Okay. The item's just extremely good, and it'll still be picked up because it reduces healing, but it's not as strong as before.
All right. Wraithband attack speed bonus reduced from 6 to 5, and Bloodstone, which I didn't even know they changed the active on this until 2 days ago when it's the first time I bought the item in the last year. Fixed multiple Bloodstone stacking the mana regen amplification effect. Okay, excellent. Now the fun stuff. Occasionally we shall be going in-game to test some of this out, Brax, so you might want to turn on the stream. Of course, if you guys are watching on VOD, this isn't live. Forget I just said that. Abaddon, also known as Abaddon to those that want to sound horrible. Base attack speed increased from 100 to 115. Reworked Scepter Upgrade. While borrowed time is active, anytime an ally takes more than 525 damage while within 1600 range of Abaddon, which is huge, an individual miscoil will automatically fire towards that ally. Scepter still increases duration by 1. So the old one was it just reduced all damage in an area by, what was it, like 50%? I haven't checked in the last year. That's my
I think it's 40% of all the damage is redirected to Abaddon, so it's essentially damage reduction for everyone else.
Okay. So now they got rid of that aspect. It still increases the duration by 1, but now this is not the easiest one to test in game, so I'm not going to do it. I guess it's just these random miscoils just start firing like crazy, ever 525 damage. What do you think? Okay, well, let me finish the Abaddon then. Miscoil cast range reduced dramatically from 800 to 500. And the level 15 talent, which gave 75 miscoil heal / damage, is now reduced to 60. Does this change, like, this versus the old axe, in your eyes?
Well, it's just an improvement all around, right? Like, there's nothing worse about this axe. It's just a small buff. Okay, so the biggest problem right now with this is that most Abaddons are placed as a 5 position. That means they'll never get an Agonal Scepter, like actually ever, because they spend half their entire game healing their lane partner, suiciding to bring them items and just come right back. So it's I don't know. It's one of those items where if you can actually manage to get it on a support, it can probably change the game. It's just the likelihood of that actually happening is probably not too high, but overall good. Nothing game breaking, unless you can actually get it. But that's the actual game breaking part, being able to get it. That means you probably should have just won. So I don't know.
Right.
It sounds cool, but just hard to get.
I think it is worse in some ways though versus the old. The other one is essentially damage reduction. So if you're getting burst damaged, the heal won't help you if you're dead, right?
Oh, okay, you're right. I forgot the.
Because there's going to be that cast time of
Oh,
Mist Coil. I think if you're able to survive the onslaught of burst, you end up healing a shit ton. Because I don't know what the actual cooldown is.
I totally misunderstood this.
What did you think it was?
I thought it still did the damage damage redirect thing.
Okay.
So I thought this was just a bonus, but that's
now,
interesting.
The thing, I could be wrong about that. I feel like the Ags was not 1600 range before though. That is massive. I don't know if I've ever seen a range of a spell that big. That's enormous. So that might be a huge buff in that respect. So
yeah, that's true.
So we'll see.
I'm just trying to think of the numbers because the Mist Coil is going to heal for what is it? Let me check real quick. I mean, is it supposed to? It heals for 255.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost the same percentage. It's like 50%, right?
Well, the other thing to keep in mind is I'm assuming that these Mist Coils aren't just coming from anywhere. They're coming from Abaddon, which means it heals Abaddon still, right? So each one.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Okay, so it's
interesting.
Math-wise, it's slightly better, but then of course you have to account for travel time and all that. And if you're a spirit vessel, you're not going to get healed or AA ulted.
Right. I mean, before you wouldn't get healed at all.
Cool.
So that in that respect, okay. I think we've talked about Abaddon enough because nobody's going to buy this item. But of course, as the chat is saying, Roshan does drop Ags now. So
holy shit, I forget about that every time actually.
Alchemist, poor Alchemist has been nerfed so bad with this Ags change. And luckily for him, he has an Agonal Scepter of his own. With Scepter equipped or synthesized, which means if you consume it, you gain a bonus 30 damage and 6% spell amp for each scepter that you gave allies at any point in the game. This sounds fucking horrifically bad. Is that just me?
Bad?
It sounds so bad. Yeah. You think it's good?
Now you have the spell amp route for Alchemist. You can play a Dagon E-Blade build with 30% spell amp. Doesn't that sound good?
All right. Number one, does it count as ×5 if you give it to yourself, or is it 4 for just your teammates? That's one thing I want to know.
I don't know.
Let's assume it's the best case scenario, so it's 5, right? So that's 150 damage. Is my math correct here? And 30 spell amp. Is that really that good? I don't know, dude. I could be horribly wrong. I'd love to be wrong because I love Alchemist, but that doesn't sound too hot to me. You actually like this, or are you trolling?
I'm mostly trolling, but there's the potential. Okay. It's possible for something good to come out of this.
Now, one thing they didn't mention is when you eat the Ags before, you got the stats for Alchemist, right? I think they probably got rid of that with the changes above. They don't specify for him specifically because he's kind of this weird case.
Oh, that's true. I'm not sure if you still get the...
I don't know if that matters.
It doesn't say anywhere, actually.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Ancient Apparition, Ice Vortex, mana cost reduced by 10, it looks like, at all levels. And Ice Blast no longer can be seen on the minimap by enemies if they have True Sight. Okay, so small changes. His Ags just increases the threshold for his ult. So that hasn't changed. Anti-Mage, you taketh away... Okay, well, what's the saying?
I don't know what you're getting at.
All right, well, they took away his Ags, and now he's getting a new one, whatever that saying is. Mana Void kills now add 70 seconds to the highest cooldown ability on the enemy hero. Cooldown starts once the enemy respawns. Increases the stun duration by 1 second, and if the target dies during that period, it's still counted as a Mana Void kill. This feels like a Faceless Void ability, or an Ags, right? With time dilation. This is really weird.
This is super weird because the only people that actually die to Mana Void are the heroes that have super high mana. The intelligence series, your Storm Spirits and Queen of Pains and stuff like that.
Right.
What happens if you mana void storm spirit? Is it electric vortex that goes on a 90-second cooldown? Is that what happens?
I was thinking the same. Like, wait, it does it add to the ult? No, he has no cooldown for this. So
Yeah.
it's usually the ult for most heroes, but yeah, for
Mhm.
Storm, not the case.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, this feels like either a Roche or an Alchemist Ags if they just feed it to you, right? I don't think you would ever buy this. There's no way, unless you're just 6 slotted and you have nothing else to do. I don't know.
This is like a for fun item. You know, you've already won the game. Now you're gonna try to add more time to their deaths. You're Necrophos based.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
that is weird. All right, Arc Warden turn rate improved from 0.6 to 0.7. I want to talk about that in a second. Fixed double Tempest double being able to activate runes. Does that mean it should or should not? Okay, fixed it being unable to, so it does now. And the reason they fixed this, other than they should be fixing, is because his Agonal Scepter might be the weirdest one in the game now. Grants a new ability, Rune Forge. Creates a random rune in front of you. Cooldown 60 seconds. The selection of runes include bounty runes and power-up runes. And then just to finish this hero, the level 10 talent increased from 30 attack speed to 35, and the 20 talent from 1.5 Spark Wraith cooldown to -2 instead. Okay. What do you think about this Rune Forge? So you can activate it, I'm assuming, use the skill on both your Tempest Double and yourself. Late game, kind of crazy, actually.
You're just farming bounty runes at some point. Making DDs, hastes, arcane runes. It sounds crazy. Like, it sounds really good. Because, Arc Warden, when this hero wins the game, he doesn't win it at 20 minutes. He wins it at 60 minutes. So it's going to be a long game where he has every item he wants in the entire game. And then he can consume the Agonals for this ridiculous ability. It looks good, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just scared of these, like, double damages at the end of the game. You have 2 chances to get double damage. Sounds really disgusting. So I don't want to go on off a tangent. I know you've played Han before. I wouldn't call you a Han player necessarily, though. Not like me, at least, Brax, because I'm still fighting the fight, okay? Turn rate.
Oh, okay.
I know. So I've said some controversial things in the past that people really raged on me about, okay? That they have now put in years later, and nobody's complaining now. I'm going to say one of those again that people are going to get mad about, that they might do in the future, they might not. I wish that every hero in the game had a 1.0 turn rate, and then they just balanced all the abilities around that. Instead of making some heroes just feel super clunky, like Jakirah, turning around with that hero makes me want to stab my eyes, versus a Pangolier, which just like, it's a dream. You know what I mean? Just in we don't have to go very far on this. In 10 seconds, tell me if you agree or disagree with that. Or would you like to see it? Really?
But what happens to Batrider? What happens when he's sticky napalm someone?
Change his skill. Who gives a shit?
All right.
Well, no.
Skill.
No, his sticky napalm it would actually be even better, though. Right?
Would it? No, with Pangu, when you're sticky, you can swashbuckle without turning still. It just casts instantly.
Well, just change that then. Make it actually reduce the turn rate. Because that's the whole point of sticky napalm, right?
Well, it does. It's just Pangu's skill. Doesn't matter which way he's turning. He can just cast it anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So cast point with the abilities. Thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, can you imagine this? This would be Heroes of New Earth. This would be the greatest game of all time.
I mean, I know people don't. When I talk to Synderen or other people that actually never played Han, and like they're receptive to what I'm saying, but they don't agree with me in the end. And I think it's mainly because they never played Han. Like, it just feels. I can't explain. It just feels better. It feels so much better. You know.
There are things like that make you feel good, that are rewarding, and then there are mechanics that make you feel bad. Like when I get my mana burned, I'm fucking angry because now I can't cast my spell. I'm losing mana for no goddamn reason. Like when Coddle had mana leak, worst shit in the entire game. But now I can turn it and everything feels so. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually surprised you agree with me. Thank you, Brax. Makes me sound smart. All right, moving on. By the way, you're going to regret what you just said about Coddle. I don't know if you actually read the patch notes yet. Have you?
I did. I saw it.
All right, Axe. Base damage increased by 3. Base armor by 1. Reworked Scepter Upgrade now causes Battle Hunger to be a 400 AoE target ability. Debuff still reduces enemy damage by 30%. and Battle Hunger gives half speed when used on creeps. So his Scepter upgrade was complete shit before, right? You Battle Hunger anything, and it reduces the base damage. I think it is not just damage, or it could be. No, maybe it's all damage. Actually, it's like
I think it was all damage.
Yeah, by 30%. And if you Culling Blade something successfully, it Battle Hungers in an AoE. My question is, does it still do that, or do they just take out that mechanic and make it easier to get the 400 AoE?
It sounds like it's taken out because it says reworked.
Yeah, I think
right.
so too.
Otherwise, it would say add or something.
Yeah.
Do you think this is useful? I mean,
I
how
know
many games do you think Axe is going to buy Ag?
that's the issue. I mean, we talked about Alchemist and we talked about Roshan. If you let's forget about this taking up a slot for now, okay? Because I think it has been proven that Axe just cannot fit Ags in his inventory. Would you agree with that? You just can't fit it.
Yep.
If you don't have to hold it, this is really fucking good now because you don't have to Culling Blade to get the AoE effect. 400 AoE target Battle Hunger that reduces all damage by 30%. That is, I feel like that's insane. Is that just me? That sounds insane.
It sounds good. It does sound really good.
That's it? You don't...
That's it. See,
Okay.
the problem is, like, when you get to that stage of the game, everyone has Manta style, supports die in 2 seconds anyway, so who really gives a shit about them? It's going to be for the carries, right? The damage dealers, and they'll have some way to remove it most of the time. Not always, but when they don't, they'll get super punished for it. I don't know. I just see all these Ags upgrades, and I just think they're so ridiculous because I don't see how it's supposed to actually apply into the game. But now there's some bullshit where Roshan randomly drops an Aghanim's upgrade for who knows why. How are they gonna write this shit in?
I can agree with that to some degree. It's definitely an interesting one, and typically when I see an interesting Ags, it means it's usually kind of bad. Now, if they brought back the Battle Hunger is not dispellable, then I think you would agree it's definitely good, right? Because it used to be undispellable for a long time. Okay.
Yep. Okay,
right.
Actually, I understand now. If Axe was a fucking amazing hero outside of all this Axe would be broken. But as of now, Axe is complete garbage, so this Axe just sucks.
Okay.
It's not going to save the hero.
You're saying that new set didn't save Axe in terms of his win rate?
It probably lowered it, but
wow,
it's the best set I've ever seen.
Agreed. Bane. Brain Sap Scepter now also reduces cast point by 50%. That feels good. And level 20 talent increase from 100 enfeeble attack speed reduction to 125. So Brain Sap, is it like the 2-second cooldown or something crazy? Is that what Scepter does?
Yeah, it's like 1.5, I think.
Okay, so now you can actually cast it without feeling bad that you're playing Bane because everything takes forever to cast on that hero, right?
Exactly. Okay. Now you won't feel like you're playing in slow motion all the time.
Do you think this is good? Good enough to buy, or just a Roshan / Alk?
This is guys. Nobody in our team has. We all have Ags already. Who's the last one? Bane raises his hand. He's in the back of the class in the corner. I don't have my Ags yet.
I think you'll find some worse ones coming up, Brax. Okay. Batrider, Firefly cooldown from 34 to 40, 38, 36, 34. So it's longer at the earlier levels, but the same at level 4. Flaming Lasso Scepter, secondary search radius increased from 400 to 450. That sounds small. That's actually bigger than you think. And I think that this has always been kind of it's a luxury item on Batrider, but you see it occasionally, right? And it's game breaking in a lot of ways, being able to lasso 2 people. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of random, right? Sometimes you get 2 people that you actually want to get. Sometimes you get a random support that's going to die in one hit anyway. Sometimes you don't get 2 people.
Yeah,
it's nice, I guess. 50 radius is actually quite large.
Yeah.
Like if you actually can like open it up and look at it, you can actually see how much bigger it is. But with wording like this, it doesn't sound like anything.
Exactly. This one sounds okay. Beastmaster reworked Scepter Upgrade. So his old one, unless they changed it in the last year, Brax, wasn't it just cast range and I think cooldown reduction? It wasn't. It was pretty boring.
Yeah.
Now wild axes have no cooldown and can be used again once they've returned to Beastmaster. Let me finish the talents. And I know you're a huge Beastmaster player, so we're gonna ask. This will be an interesting one. Level 15 talent changed from 65 wild axes damage to 40 boar attack damage, and 20 talent changed from 50 boar attack damage to 75 wild axe. So they kind of flipped them just so you wouldn't. You wouldn't be getting ags at level 15, level 15 anyway. But would you buy ags, Beastmaster player? You?
If I'm like killing their throne and I need to shift the stats on like ags on Beastmaster or something, I'd buy it. But look at what's the fucking point? Wild axes have no cooldown and can be used once they've returned. Like you'd press axes on a creep wave once and it already dies. Everything has like 100 HP and it just dies.
Doesn't it still? Again, this is the dumb questions coming in. Does it not still amplify damage?
It does, but it's only for Beastmaster's damage.
Oh, that's right.
So
okay.
You know, for your necrobooks.
Now,
and
does it
stack?
stack?
Part, it is good.
If you keep throwing the same axes at them.
Yes.
Think of it. Think of the possibilities.
I'm watching you just. I'm not convinced.
I mean, the first time I read this, I was like, "Wow!" And then I'm like, "Okay, maybe it's not as good as I thought." It's one of the. It's like a meme one, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's
sure?
Okay. Definitely looking forward to seeing this at some point. Bloodsucker.
I want to see it.
I mean, I've been saying the same thing about sniper ags for the entirety of the lifetime of that bad boy, and I've seen it in the pub like twice, and never in a pro game. So I'm pretty sad about that. Bloodseeker agility growth reduced from 3.5 to 3.1. Bloodright mana cost reduced from 100 to 70, 80, 90, 100. And Rupture is now lethal again. Deals 30, 45, 60% of distance move as damage, and has an 8/10/12 second duration. So, by the way, I'm going to say something real quick that most talent, I'm just saying this as a fact, it's not to put anybody down. Nobody, if they don't know something, usually they will not admit it because it does make them look bad, because that's just how the community, I'm way too transparent about that. I absolutely had no idea that Rupture was not lethal for... I haven't read... I'm guessing it was patch 7.20. Does that sound right? Because that's when I stopped reading. That's insane. How is it... You just run around with 1 HP? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, it was changed to current damage, and the percentage was much higher. So it did a lot more damage quickly, but it couldn't kill you.
Wow. Was it good or bad before?
It was bad because people wouldn't die, but it was bad because his passive got changed to attack speed instead of flat damage also, so his laning got a lot worse. But I wonder if these are the old numbers, like before that he was even changed. I don't remember what the old numbers were, but this doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, it's like the old Rupture now, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Was this hero ever picked in competitive with those changes from before?
It will still not be picked in competitive because his passive gives you attack speed instead of flat damage. Like when he had flat damage, he would destroy melee heroes like Alchemist and Dragon Knight and these heroes that didn't really do any damage to you and they sat there and farmed. He would completely shit on them. But now these guys just sit in front of him and farm. They don't take any damage, so probably not.
Okay. Bounty Hunter Janata damage reduced by 10 at all levels. Shuriken Toss Scepter now also increases cast range from 400 to 800. And level 20 talent increased from 75 Shuriken Toss damage to 125. Typically, you don't see ags on this hero, although it is fun to buy. The range increase, will it be enough, Brax?
I mean, the range increase lets you actually use the ags, right? Before you'd buy it and have to walk in the melee range and just die. But look at the other level 20 talent. 90 Janata Gold Steel. Like, that's a feels good talent. You know, that's something so satisfying. You hit some guy, you take 140 gold. You feel like you did this. I don't think people will take it still.
Yeah. I agree. It does. I mean, I'm going to definitely try it because I feel like if you're going for like the utility bounty hunter, ags it's not like an item you mind having. The stats are nice, and the scepter's always been kind of questionable though. So hopefully it is a little bit better now. Brewmaster Thunderclap reduced by the I played Brewmaster without knowing his changes. I was so miserable. The passive isn't a passive anymore. Oh my god, I was so lost, dude. All right. Thunderclap damage reduced by 10 Okay, this one's a weird one. It's basically the same. It's been reduced slightly at the earlier levels. But Primal Split Scepter now also grants Brewlings 100 move speed. Does that mean the fire one is 650 move speed?
That I don't know.
All right, we're
I
testing
don't
it.
think it is,
We're
but I'm not
testing it
sure.
right now.
Perfect.
I need to know. I mean, I'm gonna say yes. It increases it.
I hope it does. I want to play this shit.
All right, 650, baby. Woo! All right, that's nice. All right,
Cool. Not bad.
you like it? You like it?
Yeah, I might buy this now.
Would you though? I've seen a lot of right-click brewmasters lately because of those changes that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to pass up the right-click talents, but maybe when those get removed, then the scepter will come.
Oh, excellent. Can't wait for that. Bristleback base armor increased by 1. Warpath damage per stack increased by 4 at all levels. And Nasal Goo AoE Scepter increased from 750 to 825.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
I think I've seen Moo buy this like early on when the Ags came out like a few times. And I mean, they were already winning, but it doesn't feel like a great item on this hero.
Does Wisp still give Ags? It doesn't, right? Or is that at level 20?
Wisp gives Ags.
Holy shit, that's a indirect Wisp buff, Shannon, because every hero has an Ags now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
That is true. Poor Alchemist is sad, but Wisp is very happy. I mean, I don't know if they ever changed this, but with the AoE Nasal Goo, it didn't take off Lincolns, right? That was one gripe.
I don't think so. It also wouldn't hit units in fog, so you would just end up sneezing and missing half the time too, and people go around trees. It's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a sad one. Broodmother base attack speed increased by 25, and Agonal Scepter Upgrade increases spin web max count from 8 to 20, and movement speed bonus from 70 to 100%, and removes movement speed limit. Is it any good?
All right.
Or is this a Roshan?
If you get a free Ags, this Ags is really good. Being able to remove the movement speed limit, Brood would actually buy boots. Like if you have any sort of boots with this, you probably run it like 650 or 700 move speed with boots of travel. It's not awful. It's just something you wouldn't actually buy. If you could get it through another source, you'd be happy to have it.
Okay. Centaur, this is the saddest fucking patch notes I've ever seen. Base armor increased by 1, and level 20 talent increased from 70 retaliate damage to 80. Okay, thanks, Ice Frog. Appreciate it.
OP.
Chaos Knight strength gain reduced from 3.7 to 3.4. Chaos Bolt got a lot of changes here. The minimum damage increased at the earlier levels, same at level 4. The Bolt maximum damage increased at... Wait, the maximum damage increased, okay, by 30 at the later levels, but it's the same at the earlier ones. Minimum stun.
It's hard to look at.
It is. I mean, I hate reading like the numbers because I feel like that's not helpful, but maybe I should. Bolt minimum stun changed from 1.1112 to 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2.0. That's not helpful. Maximum stun changed. This one's fine. 2.344 to 2.2, 2.8, 3.4, 4. All right, that was not helpful. And the Chaos Bolt cooldown increased from 10 to 13, 12, 11, 10. And Phantasm Scepter now also reduces incoming illusion damage from 260% to 180%. I need to ask you a question. The wording on this Phantasm one sounds really weird. It took me a while to understand. Doesn't that just mean the damage taken by illusions means they're tankier, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, because when they say incoming illusion damage, it sounds like it's damaged by the illusion. I mean, it's just weird wording, I feel like.
The wording on this is awful, actually. I haven't seen anything this bad in quite some time.
That's the first bug in the patch notes that we found. Any thoughts on Chaos Bolt or any of this?
I mean, it just does more damage. Like the ceiling is higher. and the floor is higher on everything except for stun duration. It's just making it less random for the most part, which is a good thing, especially for this hero who has like a 30 damage gap for no good reason. Sometimes you do 40 damage, sometimes you do 80 damage. It seems like nothing. Like this hero is going to be good or bad based off of if heroes that are illusion killers are popular or not, basically.
Illusions get lifesteal now, Brax.
Oh, that's true.
Does that matter?
Chaos Knight lifesteals.
Satanic?
Maybe.
Oh, I guess his passive gives him lifesteal. That's true.
Yeah,
I didn't think
passive
about that.
lifesteals a shit ton, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Very cool.
Chen. This one's going to make me sound even more ignorant than any of the others so far. Holy Persuasion provides plus 10, 15, 20, 25 movement speed to converted creeps. That's nice. Divine Favor, which I didn't know. I've never seen this skill in my life. I have no idea what it does.
That's okay.
But now it's a passive aura. Provides 1, 2, 3, 4 HP regen, 8, 12, 16, 20% heal amplification, and 4, 8, 12, 16 bonus damage for heroes. Your creeps get 2 times the damage values. And the talent for level 15 has been changed from -7 Divine Favor cooldown to plus 10 Divine Favor damage. Tell me about this skill.
What a weird change. Like, sure, it's better for your team overall, right? But the way Chen was played before was with some carry like PA. You're not going to care if your Divine Favors on your support hero or even your offlaner for the most part. Like, you usually picked one hero, you know, and that was your purpose. You just know, I'm following this man around the entire game. You're going to press go. You're going to kill things when I press my Divine Favor on you. And you have a purpose. Now your purpose is just to hang out with your creeps, and you can't have siege wagons, so I don't really know what you're hanging out with because they're probably just going to die. So it's like...
Wait, what did Divine Favor do before then, when it was inactive?
So it was inactive, and it was all these things except an aura. It was more of all this, more health regen, a larger heal amplification, and more bonus damage, but it was just concentrated on that one ability. So you'd stick it on your PA or whoever just goes in, and they would kill everything. And now, I don't know what you do on this here. You kind of just hang out in the back lines and hope you don't die. It's just so weird. Like, you have no purpose anymore.
Interesting. I've never been interested in Chen. I find him to be probably the bottom 5 most boring heroes in the game. To be frank. They never changed his ult, though, right? It's the same thing? Just heal? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if this... does this hero get played at all competitively right now?
No, not usually. Only by like Liquid randomly, and then they'll lose and never pick it again for us. It sounds like they're out of strategies, to be honest.
I see. Okay. Clinks now has 0.25 base mana regen. He also has an Agonal Scepter. Create 2 skeletons near Clinks when exiting Windwalk. Increases Windwalk speed by 30% and unlocks max movement speed. Ooh. Burning Army. The base attack time... I do know what this ability does, by the way. This was one of the more interesting ones to read. The base attack time change to be 1.6 at all levels. So that's equivalent to the old level 2. And Burning Army units damage from 100% of your base damage to 80, 100, and 120%. And the level 15 talent reduced from plus 30 searing arrows damage to plus 20. I'm guessing you will never buy Agonal Scepter on this hero. You'll have to pick it up somehow. Is it even worth picking up? You're really fast.
It actually sounds good. Yeah.
What about the random 2 skeletons?
Well, 2 skeletons are just 2 skeletons from the Burning Army, basically, right? So they're gonna deal. That's what I think it is. It doesn't actually say. You know what? Isn't that what it means? Creates 2 skeletons near Clinks.
We're testing it. I just thought it was the 2 like troll skeletons that are worthless that do like 5 damage.
It might be. I don't actually know.
All right, let's test this bad boy out. All right, Windwalk. Boom. Oh, you're right. Okay, that's better than I thought. Not that you would buy it.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah. Let me actually use it correctly here. There we go. They don't attack.
Surprise factor.
They literally do not attack. They just stand there. What an Agonal. What the fuck is this? Do these work? Wait, none of them are.
They only hit heroes.
Oh, okay. I sound like a
Spawn
bigger
it.
idiot than
Spawn it,
usual. Hold on, let me make the dummy target. Does that make sense? Why would they not hit any? Okay. Here we go. All right, they work, guys. They work. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's good, but it's kind of cool.
Wait,
I
why
love
do
how
they
everything's
have
vector targeting now,
24
by the way.
damage?
Huh?
Your skeletons have plus 24 damage. Is that because they deal the percentage of your ultimate? Yeah, I guess so. Because it deals 120% of the damage?
Yeah, 120% of base damage.
I see, I see.
All right.
Does that mean they can be buffed by other things since they can be
I'm not
buffed
testing
by
that out, Brax. We're not testing that garbage.
All right. That's
Okay.
for another.
So Clockwork, base armor increased by 1. Thank you. Crystal Maiden, attack point improved from 0.55 to 0.45, and her attack speed increased from 100 to 115. Does she not have a talent for like attack speed or something?
Yeah, she has like 250 attack speed
250.
at level 20.
Carry CM?
Something like that.
Okay, good. Darkseer, strength reduced from 24 to 21. Level 20
Sad.
talent. Sorry? Oh, you're a Darkseer player. That's right.
Yeah, this is sad. No Helm of the Dominator. No no siege creeps. He lost 2 armor last patch. Now he lost 3. This hero only gets nerfed throughout like the history of Dota. Vacuum used to have a 16-second cooldown. Now it has a minute-long cooldown.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the
That's
heroes in
sad.
Dota, he's been changed. He always gets tweaks, right? Just constantly.
Yeah.
They kind of flip-flop talents. So the 400 AoE Surge talent is now level 25, and the 150 Ion Shell damage is now 100, and that's available at 20. And then they got rid of the 15% cooldown reduction and gave him 10 armor. So that's cool beans. Dark Willow.
That's a nerf, Shannon. That's not cool bean.
Well, I don't care about Darkseer. That's why I said cool. Like, we don't see any buffs for Centaur, so you don't have my pity.
He just got an armor.
This doesn't count. I want something cool.
All right. He got a cool cosmetic in the compendium. Do you have that?
I don't like it. Yes.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
The animation makes it less satisfying to use. Thus, I do not like it. It looks cool, though. Other than that fact. Dark Willow Agonal Scepter attacking no longer takes you out of Shadow Realm. Each attack still has bonus damage based on the duration of the buff. That sounds awesome. Level 15 talent increased from 90 gold to 120. And the 20 talent changed from 300 Shadow Realm max damage, which would be OP if that was still in the game, to minus 12 second Bramble Maze cooldown.
This is cool. Like, really cool, actually.
Would you buy it, though?
I think I would buy this one.
Oh.
Look at the talent, Shannon. You have 30 damage, 120 gold per minute. Who cares about the level 20 talent? But then 25, 200 attack speed. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You can probably do a shit ton of damage with this hero now.
So this would be a core that would get Ags, is what you're saying.
Maybe it could be a fat support.
Because Shadow Realm, I mean, that's... How much damage does that do?
Does 360 bonus magic damage when it's charged up all the way.
Okay. I don't know.
Not
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. Dazzle, Shallow Grave, Scepter radius increased from 450 to 500. How many Shallow Graves is that? Or is it everyone?
It's everyone.
Okay. I remember when this came out. I just can't remember exactly if it was like... I'm thinking of auto chess. It's like 1, 2, 3 and auto chess. All right. Death Prophet. Probably going to test this one out, actually. Added Scepter Upgrade anytime an enemy is affected by your spells, whether it be Carry On Swarm Impact, Silence Debuff, Spirit Siphon Target, or when you simply just attack an enemy, a ghost will fly out and hit the enemy for double the usual damage, then return to you with life. These ghosts apply 100% slow for 0.3 seconds. Crypt Swarm also got its cast point reduced from 0.5 to 0.4. I'm going to test this out. What do you think?
I don't know what this means. Like, I get that a bat or a ghost comes out when you auto attack someone or when you carry on swarm someone, but when you Spirit Siphon them, is that like on the initial cast, or since it does damage over time, does it keep doing? I don't actually know, but it sounds cool.
Ooh, are you watching my stream?
Yeah, I've got it open. You got fish. Looks nice.
I need to actually get some heroes out here real quick. Test this out for real. Wait, what happens with your ult though? Okay, it's not your ult though. Right? It's Crypt Storm, Silence, or Spirit Siphon. Select enemy hero. Oh, thank God I can actually do it that way. Excellent. Okay. Make them a little beefier.
This looks promising.
All right, let's see. Crypt Swarm. Ooh. How much does it actually heal for? Do more damage, idiot. Okay. Good enough. So this is essentially like a delayed spell steal, essentially, right? This one, is it just... Okay, so when you Spirit Siphon, it's only one ghost that comes out.
Oh, how sad.
The silence is it's pretty cool. All right.
That's so weird.
I don't know. What do you think? This has got to be like... I would never have thought of this one, you know?
Yeah, me neither. It's 100% movement speed slow for 0.3 seconds. That's super weird.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to even test that. Okay, let's see. He's already slow to begin with, but... Okay, so it's when the ghost attacks, it slows, so it's still a little bit delayed. But the fuck is this? Wait, what? What does this ghost do? It's just... What? Oh, it finally attacked him. Oh my God, all right. Interesting. I like it. I feel like stat-wise, the item makes sense on Death Prophet, but can you fit it? Or is this just the Roche Ags?
I don't know. It's weird because it's all delayed.
Yeah.
I thought that you'd be able to make more, like, quicker, you know, more often. Like, if you quick swarm a couple heroes, sure, you're going to get a couple, but the heal doesn't seem like very much. It's about 30 each. I don't know. This is weird. It doesn't seem awful, but it doesn't seem, like, good enough to warrant actually buying an Agonim's. It's another one of these, you know, if I can get it from some other source, great, but if not, you probably won't miss it.
She doesn't have any attack speed talents, does she?
No.
I was going to say, if she had an attack speed talent, that would make a little bit more sense, because on the spell usage, it doesn't feel very impactful, but the auto attacks, if it was fast, would make a lot more sense, right?
Yeah, I guess the slow could be annoying because it is on your auto attacks, so I don't know. It's a weird one.
Disruptor, level 15 talent, increased from -3 kinetic field cooldown to -4. Okay. Doom, Devour now has a creep limit of 3, 4, 5, 6. And talents, level 25 talent, increased from 130% cleave to 175%. I'm guessing nobody gets that talent, and I don't...
Nobody ever gets this one. You get this talent if there's mega creeps in your base. You get this talent, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's just such a random one. Doesn't fit that hero at all. Yeah. Devour now has a creep limit. What does that mean? Does that mean
level limit?
So what's considered a level 3 creep?
Anything from a medium camp and under.
And level 4?
Level 4, I think it's like the potato creep.
Okay. And level 5 is
I think 5 and 6 are everything else, but I don't actually... All I know is I had a Doom in my game, and he was trying to hit a Satyr creep, and he didn't know why it wasn't working, and it took him like a minute to figure it out.
Okay.
He just couldn't eat. Oh, I think I'm one level further. Like 3 is just the small camp, 4 is like the medium camp, 5 is like centaurs and stuff, and then maybe 6 is...
So you can't get a Satyr like right away.
Yeah, that's what it's for, but I don't know the exact specifics.
Okay. Huh. That's a kind of a cool way to do that, I guess. I'm guessing Ancients are higher than level 6, since one of his talents is Eat Ancients. Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, the thing we've all been waiting for, Brax. I've been talking about this for literal years. Dragon Knight Agonal Scepter Upgrade adds a 4th level to Elder Dragon form, a black dragon. Gaining Scepter increases the level of your ultimate by 1. Black Dragon has 50% more corrosive damage, splash damage, and slow amount. It also increases your attack range to 600, which is, in case you're wondering, 100 more than before, and grants you 30% magic resistance. Let's go test this bad boy. All right, before you tell me your thoughts, Brax, I'm going to say it doesn't matter if this is good or not. It's a very uncreative upgrade. After all these years, this is what we get. Black Dragon just increased the stuff from the previous levels.
I thought you'd get like a new skill with it or something, but it's just another axe that you'll use it if you get it for free, but if you don't get it for free, you probably won't miss.
Ba-boom!
Does it look cool at least?
So
it does.
As far as I can tell, it takes the cosmetic that you have and then just colors it black. Like, you can tell that it's just black. I don't think any other work was done to it as far as I know. And we'll just assume the corrosive damage. Look at the range here. That's the range you get. I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed.
How sad.
Somebody says use BKB. Okay. There you go. That's a big fucking boy, though.
So underwhelming.
Yeah, after all these years, man. Hopefully this gets... It might be good. I don't know. Like, you're right. If Roche is going to drop Aghanims, then this is a hero that you might want it on. It's just, I don't know if you can fit this in his inventory, right?
A lot of these ags seem kind of like they just happen to be there in case you get Roche to make your hero like a tiny bit stronger, but you never actually want the Aghanims. Or if it's like ultra late game and there's nothing else. Because it doesn't seem like anything crazy.
Right. Okay, Drow Ranger, Marksmanship. First of all, this hero is super OP. Can't believe it took him so long to nerf her. Marksmanship no longer instantly kills Ancients. Wowee. But it still does damage / pierces. Marksmanship now only pierces base armor and not total armor. So huge nerf to Drow.
Yeah.
Huge.
This hero, I'm pretty sure this hero is dead. Unless you really like playing Drow Ranger.
Yeah. So Eternal Envy will continue to play him. Player is what you're saying, Brax. Inside knowledge.
He does not like Drow Ranger.
What? What are you talking about? That's all he plays.
Yeah.
Plays it by necessity, or?
It's by necessity.
He's a masochist. Okay, gotcha. I tested this one out. We're going to show this one as well. Elder Titan rework Scepter Upgrade. Before, I think it would just increase the damage of the ult. No, it slept people with the ult, right? It's really bad. Yep. Now, Echo Stomp causes you to become spell immune while channeling and for 2 additional seconds per affected enemy hero.
Sounds cool.
I think this is good. I think this is legitimately good. Because the stats make sense. He can actually buy this as like a 4 position or something. So here's what it looks like. It just looks like BKB while you're channeling. Let me make a hero. Make sure it works. Do some bug testing for Valve. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what? 6? What? 7? 8? What?
Whoa! Something's wrong. How many Mississippis was that?
I thought it was supposed to be 4 seconds total after, like 2 each. Is that wrong? Let's see.
That was like 8 Mississippis.
2 additional seconds per affected enemy hero. Yeah, that's 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7. That's 8 seconds, dude. Am I crazy? Chat's gonna
read this shit.
Because when you use it with no heroes there, you get that 2 seconds. Or is it saying 2 seconds on top of that?
All right, press W, and then do it with only the spirit. I think it counts the time for your hero and the spirit.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, for 1,000. Ah, okay.
There's also a clock on the top, so you don't have to count out loud.
1,000. All right. Well, I like counting, guys. It's good to brush up on your your elementary
counting
counting
skills.
skills. I mean, it is important in life, believe me. Ember Spirit added Agonal Scepter. Fire Remnant cast range is 3 times longer, and initial Remnant movement speed is 2 times faster. Maximum number of charges increased from 3 to 5, and activate Fire Remnant costs no mana. There's 0% chance this is ever bought by Ember, but especially the mana cost sounds real. I mean, all of this together is actually pretty strong, right?
Yeah. I looked at this one and I thought this actually seems really good. Like, when you get to late game Ember, it's all about the split pushing garbage that goes on, and this lets you do all that really effectively. And then you also have 1,500 damage burst when you can actually catch someone. It seems really good. Just not something that you would buy.
Yeah.
Or maybe you would buy it on like a magic build or something. I actually have no idea. It doesn't look bad at all.
Are you saying me specifically?
No. There's
just a general you.
Green Chivas. Yeah. The spell casting embers. It looks really good.
Okay. I mean, he can farm pretty well, so maybe he can even buy his own and just eat it at some point in the game.
Yeah. I mean, this could be an item you just buy as a farming item that has, a bit more of a purpose besides just farming.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a lot of damage. 5 charges. No.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of applications for that.
Yeah, I agree. Faceless Void strength gain increased from 2.1 to 2.4. Level 10 talent improved from 10 strength to 12. 15 talent improved from -1 time walk cooldown to -1.5. And 20 talent improved from 40 attack speed to 45. Nothing really to talk about. All right.
Whoop-de-doo.
Another one that we're going to be testing in game. Grimstroke added Agonal Scepter. Grants you a new ability, Dark Portrait. Creates an ink illusion of a target enemy hero. Illusion lasts 20 seconds and is magic immune with 30% movement speed. With plus 30% movement speed, I'm guessing what that means. Takes 200% incoming damage and deals 150% outgoing damage. Cooldown 35, mana cost 200. Ink Swell is now castable on ally spell immune units, which is obviously literally just for this reasoning.
This looks really good.
This sounds like something you put on an enemy carry, yes?
Mm-hmm. They get linked, and then they have an illusion beating down on them, then the illusion gets ink swelled. It actually looks really good.
All right, let's test this bad boy out. Well, first, I need to test if I can cast this on the dummy target, because it's very important. Oh my god, there's another dummy! There's a baby donkey! All right, just had to test that. All right, let's see. Select enemy hero.
All right.
Okay. Oops. So we do this, and then this. And you can control them. But the fact that it's 150% damage, this sounds really strong to the point where I feel like you would actually buy this on Grimstroke. Am I crazy?
Yeah. No. I think you actually buy this on Grimstroke.
Grimstroke
really has a way to scale like crazy that's not just Hex now. I think it's really good.
Very cool. I like it a lot. Gyrocopter base attack time or base attack speed increased from 100 to 125. Huskar base armor increased by 1. Berserker's Blood regen increased by 5 at all levels, and Inner Fire cooldown reduced by 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the easier way to do it.
Wow.
Thank you. Invoke, I can count. See, that I had practice earlier. Invoker base damage increased by 3. Exhort attack damage per instance reduced. I'm not even going to bother. That's too many numbers. Just a bit, just a wee bit at all levels. In fact, just
it's
one.
Just 3 total. Yeah.
Level 10 talent increased from 30 Chaos Meteor contact damage to 40, and 20 talent increased from 35 Alacrity damage / speed to 45. That's actually kind of a bigger buff than I originally. 10 Alacrity damage. That sounds insane.
Yeah, Alacrity is a crazy skill.
Damn.
It's like 150 damage and attack speed. It's just the other one is the cool one, you know, the Cataclysm.
Yeah, it's because everybody picks
So.
Cataclysm, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Io, as we talked about, added to Captain's mode, has now a Scepter upgrade for itself. Spirits now passively spawn around you constantly every second, max of 5 spirits at a given time. And now Tether Pull can now be interrupted if stunned during it, similar to Timber Chain. Does this mean you can have your, unless they change something I don't know, and let's just test this guy out real quick. What do you think?
They're taking away all the little niche things that
Did I
Wiz
just
could do
crash?
that kind of made it feel like bullshit. You're frozen.
Close program or wait for I'm waiting. I have faith.
I
faith,
don't.
guys.
You're gonna be here for a while.
Continue while we wait.
Okay. You know, there's a lot of bullshit things where you tether through, you know, get fissured at the same time. You'd be stunned, then you'd be unstunned by the time you landed next to your buddy. So that stuff like probably shouldn't be there to begin with if this hero is supposed to be in captain's mode. But this axe sounds useless, doesn't it? Spirits now passively spawn around you. You can just press a spell that does it instead of just buying items. You're buying an items for convenience and to keep your spirits up, but
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't seem very good, honestly. It seems like you'd rather have every other item in the game before buying an eggs.
I agree on paper, but we're gonna test it out and see if it crashes again.
Nice.
People are telling me to. I mean, didn't I upgrade it? Yeah, I maxed out first and then I bought it, didn't I? I don't know, maybe not. Okay, Ags. There it goes. So. Oh, is it just? Oh, I see. It's just on all the time then, right? They just don't go away.
Okay.
So you don't have to cast it anymore. They just replenish.
Well, you can't cast it anymore. The button's gone.
Well, you can cast it to do the whole range increase decrease thing.
Make some heroes and see if you can like create 5 spirits if they're all dead.
Okay.
If you can double spirit, that's what you used to be able to do with Wisp, but it got changed.
There, it goes away and then replenishes slowly. You're saying activate? Yeah, you can't activate it. It's just passive.
Yes.
Achieved first blood.
Does that change your mind at all?
No, that's what I thought it was. It looks like shit, but maybe it's good. I don't know.
Maybe it's good. Okay. Now I have to find Io again. So, and of course, it still has the talent upgrade to give Ags temporarily, which is level 20. So nothing's changed there. And like you said, that's a buff for sure.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Jakirah, liquid fire ability effect still impacts the area when the target dies or the attack is evaded. Wow.
Cool.
Okay. So if you miss PA, it still hits the ground where she was standing. Is that what that means?
Yeah, so it'll still hit the other units in the AoE.
Or the other unit. Yeah, okay. Keeper of the Light, Scepter now also causes Illuminate to not require channeling and still provides heal bonus. So did they get rid of the daytime thing? They changed this here a lot. Okay.
Yep, there's no more daytime and there's no more map hack flying vision.
Right. Okay. So
Chakra.
So this Illuminate is essentially the old ultimate almost, right?
Yes, everything except for the flying vision.
Yeah. No, not old Ags. I'm talking about the old ultimate.
Oh.
Because didn't she need the ultimate to get the non-channeling? Well, when it says non-channeling, it means that the illusion is still channeling it for you, right?
Right. It's the old ultimate, basically, where it makes the illusion illuminating for you.
Okay. And the thing we kind of referred to earlier, Chakra Magic can now be cast on enemies, placing a debuff that drains up to 5.5% double percent of current mana per 100 units moved. Last 5 seconds. Old version was a percent of max mana, not current. So they brought back the worst of the worst.
But it's not as bad. You know, it being current mana means you can just run through it the entire time and still have mana to cast your spells. Now it's you might just lose the mana in the lane phase, or you might lose a bit of mana early on, but you'll still always have enough to, not always, but usually have enough to cast your spells.
Yeah, I missed that point. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. All right. Legion Commander base armor increased by 1. Thank you. Lich now has a 0.75 base mana regen. Now that he can't sacrifice creeps, they had to find a way to give that poor. I mean, his fucking line of give. What is it? Something about mana.
Lich gonna have your mana. I don't even know
Yeah.
what that means.
Lich gonna have your mana. I don't know either. Lena, strength gain increased from 2 to 2.2, and turn rate improved from 0.5 to 0.6. Imagine this hero with a 1 turn rate, dude.
Just give it 10 more versions and it'll happen.
Pyromancer. Great hero.
Yep.
Lion, Finger of Death, damage per kill reduced from 50 to 40. This hero has been, it's a lot of fun to see this hero with like extra 1,000 damage at the end of the game if he's having a good one.
Yeah.
Lone Druid.
Why this was nerfed? Is this hero problematic? Lion? Does he end up with too many finger stacks where people just get one shot?
So I don't know about you, Brax, in your bracket, but in mine, and I'm not even kidding here, I literally will ban this hero every game. It happens every single game. I
Holy
ban this
shit.
hero. I cannot stand playing against Lion. But I didn't think Finger to Death was a problem. He's just so ridiculous in lane. He's very annoying. So yeah, a little bit surprised by that too. Lone Druid strength gain increased from 2.4 to 2.7, and true form health bonus increased from 300, 600, 900 to 300, 700, 1100. So a 200 increase at level 3. Very nice.
Cool.
Do people buy Ags on that hero? I've seen it in pubs, but they do?
Yeah, they do after they have like Radiance AC. Then they buy because otherwise your hero just dies first all the time.
Yeah. So not having that leash and having essentially your bear is a hero. So you have 2 heroes to work with. Exactly. Luna, base damage increased by 4. Thank you very much. Lycan, this one is hilarious.
This one's good.
All right, so let's do the boring one first. The talent level 15 increased from 8 feral HP regen to 10, and added Agonal Scepter Upgrade. Causes one of the 3 waves, randomly apparently, to include 2 wolves. You cannot control the wolves, but they are considered your units, meaning all your buffs will translate to them. These wolves have the same amount of movement speed as lane creeps. What the fuck? How does this change?
I gotta say something here. This right here, Shannon, this is artifact. You get random wolves in a lane you can't control, and they just run it down, and they hope for the best.
So are these the random creeps that come, or are they the arrows, or both?
They are actually both.
This one is okay. Maybe I said this about another. Is this the weirdest one that we've read so far? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, this one
it's up there at least.
Like what's the point? I don't. This is where like you get this 4th Roshan, and you're like, guys, I really don't want this. Which one of you supports want? You know, like it doesn't actually do anything. It gives you lane pressure. It's like you have a random Rax, but because it's inconsistent, like.
Let me take you inside information here, Brax. Not really. Let me take you inside the meeting room for this Agonal's upgrade. All right, guys, we need to figure out how to give Ags to literally every hero. Anybody have idea for Lycan? No? Artifact dev on the side. How about a random creep? How about 2? 2. I don't know, dude. This one sounds fucking horrible. What if it's good? That would be amazing if this is good. I just can't see it because it's a random lane, you know? What if it's the lane that you're closest to? Would that make more sense at least?
Okay, what if you like get lucky and you have 4 wolf spawns in the same lane? These things are throwing. You know, Lycan's going to press Howl. Base is...
The ratting is... They should have been rats instead of wolves. You don't need everything to fit through lore, all right? Just make them rats instead.
Well, that'll be a cosmetic somewhere down the road.
Yes, that's true. All right, moving on. Magnus, starting strength gain increased by 2. Shockwave Scepter max range increased from 1725 to 2000. And the Scepter speed increased from 1200 to 1500. That's the one that goes back and forth, right?
Yeah, and then on the way back, it does half damage.
Half damage. Does it slow? Does it slow on the way back?
I think it slows on the way there, too.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this hero, it just doesn't feel like it fits. It's a really bad Ags, right? It's really bad.
It's because the old Ags was for Empower. Do you remember that? It was the Empower aura.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Wait,
remember
how did that work?
Like,
You have to cast it on. Wait, how did that work?
it was a half damage empower, I think, aura, but you could still manually cast it on people for the full effect.
Okay, and the aura was just always as an actual passive, right? You don't have to cast it first on yourself to gain that.
Right. I think it also gave ranged heroes splash also.
Does that not work right now with Empower?
No, only
Because that does
melee.
sound okay. I mean, that one, it was unimaginative, but it was definitely better than this, right? There's no way this is good. No Magnus is gonna get this shit.
Yeah, I mean, this thing kills creeps. That's about it.
Wow,
It's so weird. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're going for like base defense when you're against megas instead of Maelstrom or something useful, you get Agonal Scepter. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't want to see that one.
All right, Mars added to captain's mode, and he got some nerfs. Base damage reduced by 4, base armor reduced by 1. We'll get to the Ags last. Arena of Blood damage rescaled from 150, 200, 250 to 120, 185, 250. So lower at the first 2 levels. When they say the damage rescale, that's the damage when the enemy hits the side or the edges. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The cast point increased from 0.1 to 0.2, and the level 15 talent reduced from 35 damage to 30. All right. Agonal Scepter for Mars. And personally, I don't know if you buy this, but I know I will have much more fun playing this hero as a result. God's Rebuke cooldown is now 1.4 seconds during Arena of Blood. Resets God's Rebuke cooldown when Arena of Blood is cast. That sounds fucking awesome.
It
Just the
actually
effect
does
itself.
sound really good.
But
that skill does so much damage, like later on in the
Yes.
game too. But
Now-
how sad he lost 4 damage from 1 armor.
I mean, come on, dude. We don't care about that stuff, all right? Well, I think what they're doing is they're probably nerfing him a bit, maybe more than he needs to be, potentially, just to put him into captain's mode, and then you might see some increases in this stuff later. I don't know.
I think he's still too strong. His ultimate cooldown is way too low level 1 still. It's like 70 or 80 seconds. You can use it on a 5 position and you don't care. You know, you just want to kill whatever's in front of you.
Now, I know I'm focusing on the thing that nobody's going to buy, but the Agonal Scepter, Brax, when I play this hero, by the way, I want to show you. No, I don't want to show you. I will tell you roughly, it's about a 20% win rate with this hero. Like 2 out of 12 games or so. It's really bad.
Okay.
And
Did you have
would
fun
think,
at least?
No, I don't have fun with this hero at all because I play
Oh,
him in a
shit.
way that it's not meant to be played, apparently. I like going out for, like, I'm putting this big ring by myself against another hero, and it does nothing. It's more of a team. Like, I understand why it's better in pro matches, right? But in these pubs, it's just, I can't use it the way that I want to use it. That's why Agonal sounds so much better now, because you cast this God's Rebuke multiple times in there. You can actually kill somebody.
You have a new purpose now.
Yes.
You want to just put him in the ring so you can keep spamming W on him?
Dude, I'm making this work. I'm telling you. It's happening.
This hero is really strong still. He's a lot of fun too. His spells are super satisfying. Not quite as good as Jeremy would have been, but, next best.
Yeah. Poor Jeremy. Medusa, agility gain reduced from 3.9 to 3.6. And level 15 talent, which everybody has complained about, reduced from 30% Mystic Snake Mana Steel to 25. That's like barely a nerf, I feel like.
Yeah, it got nerfed 5% twice now, but I really thought they would just change this to current mana, not max. Because getting snaked twice and having 0 mana, like actually 0, you can't fight. You can't do anything. And
Right.
Medusa's already so tanky anyways that she's going to sneak you so many times in a fight. It's so weird.
Yep, I agree. Very weird indeed. Meepo, base damage increased by 2. Level 10 talent increased 7 strength to 10. The other one increased 10 damage to 15. And the 15 talent increased from 15% evasion to 20%. Nothing to talk about. Marana attack point increased from 0.3 to 0.35. Base attack speed increased from 100 to 115. And the Scepter Upgrade trigger rate improved from 10 to 9 seconds. I remember when this first came out, it was 6 seconds or something, then nerfed to 8, then 9, then 10, and now back to 9 that nobody buys it.
Yep.
I mean, all the ags are getting love this patch, so I can't be too sad. All right. This one we're testing, my friend. Monkey King added Scepter Upgrade. I always like think about what Scepter Upgrades could be for certain heroes, and this was not one that I thought of. Spawns a monkey soldier near you every 3.5 seconds. These soldiers last 12 seconds. Soldiers do not spawn if you are invisible or on trees. These soldiers can attack any target. However, they will not attack buildings if you are not within 500 range of them. How does that sound?
So I don't understand. I don't know what this looks like. I don't
literally
know what
don't.
it does.
All
I mean,
right.
I get it, but where do they spawn? It says they spawn near you. Does that mean like if there's a hero near you, is it going to spawn next to them, or is it going to be behind you?
So the way that I tested it, which you'll see soon, I think it goes randomly in an AoE around you. And I just wanted to do this first just to see which skill it is connected to. I'm guessing it's the ult.
Okay.
I just want to double check just so I can... Yep. Okay, it's the ult. So every 3.5 seconds, you can't control them. They're just here. And I would say this is a very boring one, but I could see... Like, you're never going to buy it. Again, it's one of those. But if you do get it via Roshan, I can see this being really good late game because obviously it does... Like, especially if you have Diffusal... you won't get bash, but you know, the Echo Saber doesn't work anymore. I don't think. On
Echo
these
works.
things. It does. All right, let's test. Yeah. Show me illusions, please.
The slow works, not the double attack.
Oh, the slow works. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? Based on a Roshan Ags, we're not.
Can you
Yes?
walk closer to the tower?
Yes.
I want to see it hit the tower. The enemy tower, yeah.
Ah, yes, the enemy tower. Thank you. Very good. You know.
It looks so out of place, you know? It just
Yeah.
looks like you're walking by and you dropped an illusion or you dropped a monkey and it's just
If you
keeping
if you
guard or
thought that
something.
these didn't lag your computer enough, well, we've added a new feature. Buy Ags, and you get 3 to, I think 4 of them can be alive at the same time, but it's only for a brief moment. Yeah. So I don't know. It's very strange.
All right. Actually, I think this Agadams is actually not as one you would purchase, but one that you would get for free later because when you're pushing and you like drop your ring so that you can like take the racks or zone them off, right?
Yeah.
That you're pretty much just like trying to zerg the buildings down, right? So once you stack up like 2 or 3 monkeys that are just constantly hitting the buildings with you, you're probably going to kill all the towers.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you probably take the racks. So it looks really good for that. And if people chase you, I guess you're going to drop a random monkey behind that's going to slap them along the way or something. But
All right. Somebody asked a really good question. Thank you to Casual Savagery. Octarine Core, does it reduce the cooldown? Let's see. So we can have 4 at a time briefly, right? So if we can get 5, then it matters. It's not looking likely. Does not look like it works.
Ready for anything.
If it does, it's very slight. So, okay. So one of those Roshan Ags again. Very nice.
yep, exactly. Good for ending the game.
Yeah. All right. Morphling, Adaptive Strike, damage reduced from 100 to lower, 30 lower at level 1, and then gradually goes up back to 100 again. Morph no longer dispels your hero. And a new Agonal Scepter. While morphed, you gain 35% cooldown reduction, 50% mana cost reduction, and 600 cast range.
Huh.
This sounds
How
really
weird.
strong if you pick the Ags.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what heroes you're playing
35%
against.
Cooldown reduction. Well, when it says well morphed, that just means you have the morph buff, right? So you can change back to the regular morphling, so you can E-blade and adaptive strike someone with the cast range and cooldown reduction.
Oh, that's
So
true.
you
I didn't
can
think about that. Okay.
You can use both applications. That way, the real sad thing is morph no longer dispels your hero because you're gonna get spirit vesseled if you play this hero, and you're just gonna die. And you won't be able to morph.
Time to pick a fight.
So
But,
I'm looking at the talent, 20-second morph duration, right? So how much downtime is there?
I think it's
30
like 10
seconds? Oh, it's, yeah, only 10 seconds. So you're saying
Oh,
80% of the
max.
time, if you have this, if you cast it constantly, 80% of the time you'll have this cooldown reduction and mana cost reduction.
I think
cast
that's
range.
how it works. I'm not sure. I mean, there's no downtime at max level, 40-second duration and 40-second cooldown. Then when you have cooldown reduction, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't
It's
see
weird.
that the cooldown was 40. Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
These guys aren't going to know.
Very interesting. That sounds insane. Okay, moving on. Nature's Prophet base damage reduced by 2, and Nature's Call attack damage reduced by 3 at the level 1, and then gradually gets reduced to end up the same at level 4, which is 36. Necros Reaper Scythe respawn time reduced from 15, 30, 45 to 15, 25, 35. So 10 difference at level 3.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the more aggravating things to get killed by.
Yeah,
All right.
This is the ultimate feels bad mechanic when you get reapered. That's when you take your hands off the keyboard and you start watching your show.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Sounds about right. Night Stalker has a scepter again. Thank Jesus. Void is now applied in a 900 AoE around you. Increases the Void mini stun duration from 0.1 to 0.6 and reduces cooldown by 2 seconds. So I wanted to test this out because first time I read it, I couldn't picture it. It sounded like it just randomly, I don't know why, maybe I'm an idiot, but it sounded like it would cast Void randomly around you. That's obviously not the case. So when you cast Q, boom, it works on all units in the AoE. This, I don't know if you buy it, but it's pretty freaking good. And it's a longer stun by 0.5 seconds.
Wow.
And the reduction in mana. It's only a 6 cooldown now.
Well, at nighttime, the spell's crazy, right? Slows attack speed.
Let's make it nighttime.
Move speed.
Yeah, I don't know if you buy it, but it's definitely an intriguing one to say the least. Could you see it being purchased ever?
This one has potential, but I still am not sure if you would buy it. Maybe later. The ones that are AoE are hard because usually they're purchased for their utility, and as the game goes on, their utility gets lower and lower when people get more items to deal with that kind of stuff. So I don't actually know.
Okay.
Looks
Nyx Assassin. Base strength reduced by 1. Vendetta cooldown rescaled from 70, 60, 50 to 90, 70, 50. So higher at the earlier levels. And the 15 talent reduced from 30 move speed to 25. So it looks like the Ags was untouched. I think I overrated this Ags, by the way, in my last tier list. I don't think it's nearly as good as I thought. It just has so much potential. But I think the problem with his Ags is you just play differently once you have it, I feel like, right? It's just a different play style.
Yeah, it's a totally different playstyle. It's amazing when you're defending or sieging a base and you just sit there burrowed and you can cast your spells from a million range away, but otherwise it's hard to use, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Ogre Magi multicast 2 times cast chance increased from 70 to 75%, and level 25 talent increased from 275 fire blast damage to 300. Very minor changes.
Cool.
Omni Knight, Guardian Angel Scepter now also provides 40 HP per second regen and affects buildings still. So kind of bringing back the old Guardian Angel effect, but only when you have Scepter, right? So unless they change it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's global Guardian Angel, and it works on buildings, obviously. Towers, that is. Or I guess all buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Basically
a pretty cool
glyph that heals towers.
Yeah, I like it. Oracle base attack time increased from 1.4 to 1.7. I don't know if I've ever seen that huge of a change in base attack time on a hero. That's insane. May not look like that much. It's huge.
Windrunner in Dota 1 was 1.5, and then it got nerfed to 1.7.
Yeah.
You could really feel it, so I don't even know what this is going to feel like. It probably feels awful.
Why was he 1.4
Oracle
to begin
has no
with?
damage. You know, for fun. Sometimes you got to toss in some random changes and mix things up and see what happens.
Also, the level 20 talent reduced from 50 move speed to 45. So only nerfs for our friend Oracle this time around. OD Equilibrium now passively provides up to 32% mana steal, all damage, not just spells. When activated, triples the mana steal and slows enemies hit by your spells. I don't even know what this skill is, so you tell me. I've seen this icon before, but this used to be Essence Aura, so...
All right, Essence Aura was removed and changed with a skill that's an active that gives you mana back on hit based off how much magic damage you do. So you press Astral on a creep wave, press Equilibrium, boom, full mana. You heal like 1,000 mana. And you would press Equilibrium, then click someone with your Arcane Orbs, and you would heal mana, essentially. Now what this does is, even when it's not active, you get a third of it as passive mana steal. So you get this on your auto attacks. So let's say you're playing against a mana burner, you have no mana, now you can't cast Astral and Equilibrium to get full mana. Well, now when you auto attack creeps, you're going to restore like 10 mana each hit. So you'll basically have all of that. You can activate it, and it makes your auto attack slow. I know it says hit by your spells, but for some reason it makes your auto attack slow. So yeah. Oh, some guy in chat says Windrunner's base attack time is still 1.5, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but something happened. Something happened across the years. They're gonna feel awful.
This is one of those things where they change stuff. Like, obviously they change stuff pretty drastically, but if you've been in the game for as long as we have, and you've been longer than me, these old patch notes start to creep into your mind, and you actually just completely forget what's real and what's... It's like living in the Matrix. You just don't know what's real anymore.
Everything just seems made up.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty cool. Pangu... Oh my goodness, we're testing this one out. Well, first let's talk about Lucky Shot. This got mega nerfed. Lucky Shot no longer has a chance to silence, but will always disarm now. And Lucky Shot now reduces armor by 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you think of that change?
This might be better.
Really?
Now, hear me out. In the lane phase, when you disarm someone, that means you're going to win the trades when you right-click someone, right? Like, of course, supports absolutely hate getting silenced randomly like Lucky Shot. It probably is the most infuriating thing possible, and it's going to be way worse for that. But it is better for laning. Being able to disarm someone that you're trading right-clicks with and lower their armor, especially because the swashbuckle is physical damage, it should be slightly better in lane and then worse in the game. So, sad. Probably intended to be a nerf, honestly.
Yeah. So it's still a percentage-based thing. So 17% of the time you will disarm / reduce armor. But the real cool change, which I tested and it looks hilarious. Have you seen this yet? The Agonal Scepter?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god. Shield Crash now casts a 2-attack swashbuckle every 90 degrees around your hero. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. But the thing I have to mention before we look at it is this talent? Unless things have changed that I don't know about, Brax, the level 15 talent, I've never seen anybody take 2-second Rolling Thunder duration, because 2-second Shield Crash cooldown in Ball is unbelievable. Is that correct?
In competitive, there are some fraudulent Pangu players out there, the non-off laners that play Pangu, that play support, or that play mid. They get 2-second Rolling Thunder because they don't know how to use the 2-second shield.
All right.
That has to be it.
All right. So now if you get an Ags, which is debatable, we'll talk about that in a minute, you definitely get the Shield Crash cooldown, and I will show you why. So, boom. Free spells real quick.
What?
Let's get some cool items, huh? Let's get our usual stuff. Okay. Let's make some heroes.
Wait, this looks really stupid.
Okay, enemy. Get out of the way, please. No, I don't want you to come with me. All right, level up enemies. And I'm just going to be very nice to these bots. Give bots item _heart. Is that how you do it?
I have no idea.
Shit.
I just click on it and buy it.
Give bots heart. I always forget about this. All right, anyway. Let's try this out. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's really bad. But here's the thing, Brax. Let's take this 2-second Shield Crash cooldown. Okay. And the swashbuckle damage. And this doesn't
There
matter.
you go.
Oh, actually, this does matter. All right, whatever. Oh! Oh! I'm actually fucking stuck. Shit. I'm stuck. I didn't mean to. Oh, there we go. Let me try to do this a little more realistically, okay? I'm just spam. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We're
You're
restarting
cheating, you
it.
have free
I am.
spells on.
I forgot.
And you're stuck.
All right. All right. Let's pretend we didn't do that. Let's try it for real. This is a real life scenario. No boots. Very real life. I'm just spamming it.
This is cool.
All right. You are a Pangu player. I am a Pangu player. What does this mean?
It means when Roshan drops that Scepter Upgrade, I call dibs on.
Sometimes it just misses horribly. I feel like I'm going to be really bad with this.
I'm gonna like miss my shield crashes just to shoot out swashbuckles in every direction.
I mean, the good news is he has a 1 turn rate, as we talked about, so it feels very fluid. So if you're good, you can mimic it in your way.
Buy a Maelstrom.
Oh my god. All right. I'm going back in
Forget the
game.
most important item.
I know. Now I have to make these goddamn heroes again. Level 2 max. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oops.
You just hate Abaddon?
I
Always
do hate
making
him.
Abaddon bots?
Oh, I forgot to get Ags. Need to be on the recommended items now. It works. Is that what you wanted me to test?
I just thought there'd be, you know, a bit more chaos happening.
Anyway, would you ever buy this item? Stats are really good for the hero, right? The mana, especially.
I would tell my Wisp to tether me so I can press shield crash.
That does
And I
sound
would
like a
ask
sick
for
combo.
Ags from my Alchemist.
Man, that's fun though. That's easily the most fun Ags they put in. Very, I'd call it creative, right? It's pretty creative.
It looks really satisfying.
Yeah, it
It
is.
looks very enjoyable.
All right, PA Scepter. Blur now has instant cast time and applies a dispel. Anytime you get a hero kill, your abilities refresh. Reduces blur cooldown to 12 seconds, which I'm assuming just means passively when you get the scepter. It does that.
Yeah, Shannon, this is some League of Legends bullshit right here.
Is
A
it?
reset on a hero kill? Yep. That's exactly what this is.
It does sound. I mean, I never played League, but it feels like. Is there a hero in Dota this happens with, or am I thinking of Han maybe?
Yeah, Axe.
Oh yeah, Culling Blade. Yeah, okay. So technically, it's a Dota thing, if you really think about it.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, this. I won't lie. Reading it, it doesn't sound like super exciting, but you can, like in late game situations, if you pick up the Ags via Roshan or Alka or however, or if you just have tons of money, which you could very well have with PA, and you have 6 slotted already, this is really helpful. You can just go on a rampage yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because you're going to be permanently blurred for the rest of the game. 12-second cooldown on it. It means you're just going to be able to... You'll always see them before they see you, so you can pick and choose who you want to jump every single time.
What's the cooldown on this? Wait, it says Scepter cooldown is 12. It's not the cooldown, the duration. Oh, it actually has 25 duration. You're not kidding. It's 100% uptime. 200% uptime, actually. That's, wow. Okay. That's pretty crazy, actually. Excited to see that one, especially. Phantom Lancer, strength gain increased from 2 to 2.2, and agility gain increased from 3 to 3.2. Phoenix, base strength increased by 2, and Supernova now causes your abilities to refresh on cast rather than at the end of the spell, which if you read that alone, you'd be like, what difference does that make? Well, I'm glad you asked. Supernova Scepter now also allows you to cast Sunray and turn its direction while in Supernova. Can I do this while the game is being updated? Looks like it.
Can you imagine the lag with this garbage going on? You've got a laser, you've got everyone dying to the sun, throwing a
There we
Monkey
go.
King ultimate.
That is, I mean, this. So here's the thing, right, about Phoenix. I wouldn't even, I mean, Agonal Scepter, this hero has a hard time farming, right? I'm assuming Midas is still the item in a lot of games for this guy.
Yeah.
And Scepter is really, it's always been really good. But it feels like it's his third or fourth item. This makes it, I would say, a lot better as well.
Yeah, and it still has that old effect too, where you can bring a hero into the egg.
Yeah. Oops.
And also, now that it resets cooldowns on cast and not on death, even if you get your teammate killed, they can buy back and they'll have their spells off cooldown.
Whoa, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Am I an idiot? How do I spawn a normal hero? Whatever.
You have to type it.
No, I think there's a normal way to do it, but I just wanted to double check that this works. Okay, yeah. Eat it, Axe. That's, I mean, Sunray's insanely good, so. Oh, it stays on, too, afterwards. Oh.
That's pretty cool, because you have, like, the safety of the egg, you know?
Yeah.
Normally, you cast Sunray, and if someone stuns you, you get silenced, it's just done. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I think you'll see more Ags as a result of this. Would you agree? I understand
Yeah.
this game nowadays.
I would agree.
Okay, cool. Puck intelligence gain increased from 3.1 to 3.5, and strength gain increased from 2.2 to 2.4. Excellent. Pudge base intelligence increased by 2, and his level 15 talent increased from 12% rot slow to 16% rot slow. What's the other one?
Cool.
Lifesteal. Spell lifesteal. Not changed.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gets to spell lifesteal, I'm guessing, is why they did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No Pudge nerfs, I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. Pugna now has a 0.5 base mana regen and agility gain increased from 1 to 1.3, and Netherward mana loss increased by 0.05. Okay, it just changes a lot. You can look at the numbers here. It changed slightly. 0.2 at the last level. Nothing to write home about. If there's anything you think is important, just stop me. Otherwise, I think most of this stuff is like aghanims.
That one's important because Pugnas are used to counter heroes that use a shit ton of mana, so that's 20% more damage at max level.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it so Pugna fulfills his niche a bit better. So that's cool. You know, he sticks true to his identity as the stupid green dude who only happens to kill people that cast spells. So it's not bad.
He's lived a long life of being that guy you just pick to counter something, as opposed to, I mean, I guess he had a little bit of time in the limelight where people were just picking him, but not as long as other heroes, I would say, historically.
Oh no. Somebody meant, sorry, something else. It's mana loss increase, so that's the negative mana degen from when it's up. So this is trash. Thank you, Jack in chat.
Okay,
I
so
totally
you're saying
misread this.
that's a mechanic in the Netherworld that people forget about as well, because it's not super obvious that it's happening to you, right, as an enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Razor, Eye of the Storm, Scepter no longer increases attack rate. That means attack rate of the Scepter, not the hero, or of Eye of the Storm, I should say. And the Scepter now hits up 2 different unit strikes instead of 1, and still affects buildings. So
Interesting.
I'm thinking of like the Ags refresher days. It's worse for building sieging, if you want to go to that crazy build, but it's better for killing units or lowering armor of units even.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
Because there were so many times it hits the lowest HP target, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever you're linked to. Does it do that? It hits whatever you're linked to? I think it does. I'm not sure.
I remember that being
It's
a
been a while.
change. Yeah.
But so much better for team fights because sometimes you're stuck hitting the lowest HP unit and then, you know, it's a creep or it's a guy that's already about to die. Like, well, what's the point of that? It doesn't actually do much.
Yeah. Okay. Ricky, base damage increased by 3. Rubik, agility gain increased by 4 to start the game, and then by 0.4 in terms of per level increase. Shadow Demon intelligence gain increased from 3.1 to 3.3. Shadow Fiend now has 0.3 mana regen. What do you think about these like little mana regen things being put in? Does it make that big of a difference, or is it kind of whatever?
I think anything that gives heroes mana regen is probably going to feel significant because ever since they changed the way regeneration works, Clarities used to give you like 10 mana regen at some point if you're an intelligence hero and you had a lot of int already. And then they removed that and they did away with all those regen changes, but Clarities never got buffed to compensate. So Clarities are complete shit. There's a big lack of mana regen. I don't know if you play any of these heroes with gigantic mana pools, but you actually run out of mana on like everything now. Queen of Pain, Leshrac. Unless you buy Bloodstone, you actually just don't have enough mana.
So how do you compensate?
You buy 10 mangoes and 800 clarities every year. But now you have 0.3 more mana regen, so you got 10% of a clarity permanently.
Okay.
That's got to be good.
Well, his strength gain was also increased by 0.2 and his agility gain by 0.2 as well. Shadow Shaman, Ether Shock. It's Ether Shock, right? Not Ether. Ether. I think it's Ether.
Well, I can only read what's in front of me, and that says Ether.
Yes, that's good. Ether Shock, mana cost rescaled from... okay, so it's just changed in the earlier levels to be... It feels like it's just even numbers now. From 95 to 100, 105 to
How
120.
weird. There's a 5 at the end of that to begin.
Yeah, that's kind of random. I feel like I should have noticed that before because they've been going away from this for a long time now, but slipped through the cracks it seems. Silencer base attack speed increased by 15. That's great for Silencer carry, which I know is not popular at all ever, but is sometimes a thing. Skywrath Mage. Ancient Seal cast range increased by 50 and concussive shot mana cost from 95 to 80, 85, 90, 95. So less mana cost at the earlier levels. All right, Slardar. Cool. Fun stuff. This is where I stopped reading and you told me that you were able to record a video, so I haven't actually read any of this.
Cool.
Agonal Scepter Slitherine Crush creates a puddle of water that is considered a river for bonuses. Provides 25 HP regen, 12 armor, and 40% status resistance while in a puddle or river, in addition to the normal Guardian Sprint river bonuses. Puddle AoE is 550, and it lasts for 25 seconds. Okay. Guardian Sprint now passively provides an extra 5, 20, 35, 50% movement speed boost in the river with unlocked max speed, rather than a fixed 700 at level 4 when activated. Wait, what? Does that mean that's not... So you don't have to use it to get the movement speed bonus. Is that what that means? We'll test this out in the game.
That sounds really weird.
We'll test it out. Level 25 talent.
No. That's what it is.
What?
Whatever you just said, that's what it is.
Okay. Level 25 talent changed from the Slithering Crush stun to minus 4.5 Slithering Crush cooldown. Minus 4.5. All right, this is one we definitely need to test. This is weird. Creates a puddle.
Yeah, so you get the passive speed and then you activate it for the larger burst of speed.
So the cooldown on this is 8. So it becomes 3.5 second cooldown with the talent, right? So let's do that. 3.5 seconds. All right, so yeah, you can tell I'm much faster just passively. So you don't have to activate. That's really nice, actually. And then there is that's actually a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Wow. That's really cool. And with only a 3.5 second cooldown, you can do it repeatedly. Damn.
Can you press sprint?
Keep a lookout.
Yes.
And then buy boots.
Yeah, stop telling me what to do. Regular boots, is that fine with you?
That's acceptable.
Okay. Or by regular boots, I mean treads.
I just because the old one was 700.
Mhm.
It's probably less now because you can start making puddles in other places. Yeah, it's less overall, but being able to make puddles elsewhere is cool.
That's pretty cool. Did we miss
Alright.
anything to test on that one? So you get the HP regen, 12 armor. I guess we can technically test that. Let's look at
Status
the regen here.
resistance.
Yeah, that's going to be a harder one to test, but I mean, that's this. Whew. I mean, the effects themselves, not talking about whether you buy this item, the effect itself is, it feels really good.
Yeah, it looks nice. I mean, when you look at the stats it gives too for the cost, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot. I
Shit
mean,
ton of armor.
you can just so if you just have ags and you don't, even if you, okay, without crushing, let me just wait for these puddles to go away. You just go to the river to regen. That's insane, right?
Oh, that's yeah, I guess so. I forgot about that.
That's, you still have to buy Agonal Scepter. I'm trying to wrap my brain around the idea of buying ags on Slardar, but the effect is, sounds unbelievable and looks
At least
unbelievable.
he's good at killing Roche.
That's true. Hey, I'm helping you kill Roche. Please give Agonal Scepter. This is very interesting to me. I'm really boggled whether you would potentially buy this on like a. Do people play utility Slardar like back in the day?
What does that mean? Utility
Like a
starter?
position 4.
Yeah, it used to. Back when his stun was 2.5 seconds, now it's 1 second.
That's true. It's stun's garbage now. I like it. I hope this is a good ags because it that would be really cool to see.
I'm pretty sure it's not, but it looks nice.
It does ruin my idea for a hero that creates puddles of water, like has some sort of bonuses for being in water and creates its own. Now they put it in the game, which is sad. All right. Slark, the other Slytherin, base attack speed increased by 20. Shadow Dance passive health regen rescaled to be from 357 to 567, so better at the earlier levels. And the Scepter range increased by 100, which is huge. Of course, if you guys don't know it, the Scepter essentially, anybody that's in that area is Shadow Danced. Is that right? They're invis.
Yeah, that's right.
Do they get any bonuses, or is it just invis?
I don't think they get the regen. I think they just get the invis, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. Okay. Is it your cat or mine that's on cam? It's yours. They're asking you to pet the cat, Brax. Okay. I'm sure the cat will come say hi. My cats just never say hi anymore. It's kind of sad. All right, moving on. Spectre Scepter Upgrade grants you a new ability, Shadow Step. Allows you to perform a single target unit haunt. Cooldown 70, mana cost 180. What the fuck? This, obviously, like any carries, you're never going to buy Ags, right? So this is a drop. But so here's the new ability. It's F by default. So it's literally just the same as your ult in terms of stats, but it's on one target. And I guess you can't use it on creeps, can you?
How weird.
Where's the dummy? There you go. Wait, does that mean you can go to... Oh, you can still go to it as well.
Yeah.
This is like... guys, I'm running out of items. This game's going 80 minutes. Let's just kill the support through 2 haunts. With Refresher Shard. You can use haunt so many times now. I don't know.
That's I'm playing Spectre and this fucking game still isn't over somehow. I'm buying an egg.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I forgot. So you would need to see them to be able to use this, right? You can't use it in Fog of War. So that's one thing. But can't you just use it twice? Your haunt into that, so you have 2 illusions hitting the same target?
Yes.
That sounds like a cool late game scenario. Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Spirit Breaker, base health regen increased from 0.75 to 1.25. Okay, they're telling you guys, test, stop being lazy. Jesus. What do you mean test? Fog of War test? Jesus.
I don't think you can test this in the demo lobby. There's
Yes,
no
you can.
fog, right?
There is
there is
fog.
fog.
Yeah. All right. Select enemy hero, Earthshaker, enemy. Get over here, you piece of garbage. Okay, you guys can see he's in fog. F. Nothing happens. Gonna haunt. Double illusions. That's how you do it. Look how, if you're against a level 1 unit, this is very strong.
Wow.
Okay. Spirit Breaker. Bulldoze status resistance increased by 4. God damn it. All right. From 30, 40, 50, 60 to 34, 46, 58, 70. So a 10 increase at level 4. Movement speed has been increased for that skill by 2 at all levels. Greater bash, stun duration. Did this hero suck before or something? Like everything's getting changed here. Oh, okay. Greater bash, stun duration rescaled to be higher. No, lower actually, throughout most levels, and it stays the same at level 4. The damage from that skill is higher at the earlier levels, so it's just like making the earlier levels more consistent and higher value. Charge of Darkness mana cost reduced from 100 to 70, 80, 90, 100. And Nether Strike Scepter cast range increased by 100. And the Scepter radius increased by 100. That one's kind of big. But you'd never buy Ags on this here to begin with. It's more of one of those drops as well, right?
Yeah. His Aghanims is pretty shit, to be honest. There's no way around it. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. The one thing that feels good, though, is the cooldown. I think it goes down from like 60 to 20 seconds, I want to say.
No, that is true.
Which is nice. But the AoE, it feels like before it never really mattered. But with 100 extra, that's pretty large. So, I don't know. You might want to think about giving Spirit Breaker an Ags, Alchemist or Roshan, because that's big CC. Techies now has 1 base mana regen. That's a lot. 1 base mana regen. TA added Scepter Upgrade. Grants you a new ability, Psionic Projection. Allows you to teleport to any psionic trap after a 2-second channel. Does not break meld. Cooldown 30, mana cost 100. Detonates the psionic trap on arrival. All right, well, you know what we're doing with this one.
Does this remind you of anything?
This reminds me of Bramble, or is his name Bramble?
No, Tremble. Some guy said it in
Tremble.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can travel to the webs or the tunnels. Now you can travel to your traps.
I was designing a hero to do this. Thanks, Valve. Thanks. I like the idea of like burrow, like the what's that unit in StarCraft?
I don't know.
The Nidus Worm. The Nidus Worm. So you get Psionic Projection. Costs 100 mana. Let's see, I'm melded right now. Wow. This
truly epic.
Dude, this is, you're never going to buy Ags. This is again one of those heroes, but this is a very useful skill, right?
Yeah, it's a game changer in terms of utility, and look at that fancy blue circle you have there.
Oh yeah, I forgot to show that off. Very, very nice. Yeah, this is sick. Wait, where the fuck? Oh, okay. It's weird that there's like no animation for it, but you can stay melded. I don't know. That's very strong late game.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool.
Terrorblade added Scepter Upgrade. After casting meta, a wave travels outwards in all direction, causing enemy heroes to become feared for 3 seconds upon impact. Wave starts traveling after 0.6 seconds and has a travel speed of 1,000. Spell immune units do not get hit by the wave. Has a global sound effect. And reflection no longer affects illusions. Do you remember Malakin?
Mm-hmm.
This is what his ult did, right?
Yes, except there's a delay on it. Can you test to see if you meta then blink, where do the shockwaves come from? Does it come from where you blink, or does it come from the original point?
Okay. Let's get some heroes out here first. Jesus. Didn't want fucking Earth Spirit. Boring hero. All right, whatever. All right, so meta. We'll do it normally just to see. Wow. That's cool. What if you don't want them to run away, though? What if you want to fight them?
Then
you're
you
in
shouldn't have
trouble.
pressed meta, I guess.
All right, so we're going to try it again. Oh, that looks a little bugged, right? With the indicator. Is that just me? I will try it again. Do it from a larger distance. I actually can't tell if the range is that big. Hold on. Stand still. The range is actually that big. That's... What the fuck? It looks like it starts... It's still just from... Yeah, we'll do it this far away. How about that? Yeah, it does not follow the hero.
Okay.
So it's based on the initial location.
Interesting. Terribly has a way to cancel TPs now. When he has an Agonal Scepter.
I'm just reading. So Scepter wave radius is 1600. That's huge. I don't know. That's kind of a weird one, right?
Yeah. Again, another one where when you get for free, it might do something, but it could also be counterintuitive when you're fearing them back to their fountain, right? Because usually you press meta and you want to attack.
Not with Quap on your team, though. You can just... And then Lone Druid as well. Who else has Fear? I think there's one more.
Dark
maybe.
Willow.
Yeah, and Dark... I mean, I would love to see like a meme lineup like that. Tidehunter, Gush upgrade radius increased from 250 to 260, and the upgrade distance increased from 1800 to 2200. Kind of a forgotten Ags that I always found kind of fun, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Sad. I like this one a lot, but it's hard to make work.
Yeah. Timbersaw strength growth increased from 2.8 to 3.2. Intelligence gain increased from 2.4 to 2.7. And base armor increased by 1. The talents at 10, 6% spell amp becomes 2.5 mana regen. Okay, so they're switching this around completely. 10 talent, 25 XP gain is gone to 225 health. That makes me super sad. I used to love that one.
Yeah. How weird, right? Because XP gain was like, when you can get XP at 10, it's almost one of the best talents like every single time.
I thought if they were going to do anything, they'd just nerf the number, but I guess not. 15 talent, 5 reactive armor stacks becomes 8 additional ones. The other 15 talent, 100 damage, now is 10% spell amp. That's pretty weak sauce. And 20 talent increase from 15 strength to 20. Is this hero played a lot?
No, not at all, actually.
I feel like
for a very small period, but not anymore.
Like 6% spell amp at 10. Okay, I was thinking this was 20. All right, so from 6 to 10 makes sense if it's 15. But still. What was the other one? Oh, that's the 8 reactive armor stacks. Both are kind of meh. I guess you take spell amp, right? Depending on the game.
I don't know. That's weird now.
Yeah.
Huh, I'm not sure, because 2.5 mana or 225 health. I guess 225 health is a shit ton at level 10 when you only have like 1000 HP. But still, XP. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah. Now you're never making it to 25 in a lot of games to get that beautiful timber chain range.
Yep.
Tinker now has 0.25 base mana regen, and his intelligence gain has been increased from 2.5 to 3.3. Level 10 talent increased from 6% spell amp to 8. And level 10 talent increased from 75 cast range to 100. At level 10, that's... I feel like 100 cast range is a lot for level 10. Am I crazy? Who has the 125? Is that...
Lion has 125. I think Rasta does. Lion also has
what
some
level
cast
is that
range,
at?
like 75.
Around. Is that 10 or 15?
I think it's 15.
Okay. Tiny intelligence growth increased from 1.6 to 2.2. And he finally has his Ags, or has an Ags again. Let's see what it does. Grants you a new channeling ability, Tree Volley. Every 0.4 seconds, a random tree within 525 range of your hero will be thrown towards the targeted AoE. Deals 120% of your damage to enemies in that area. Target AoE 400. Cast range 1300. Max channel 2.4 seconds. So you can, I guess, stop it in the middle of it. Cooldown 12 and mana cost 150. Tree grab cooldown has been reduced at 2 or by 2 at all levels, and grow armor increased from 7/16/25 to 10/18/26.
Have you seen this?
No.
It's the most clowny looking thing in the entire game. I've been told that this crashes your game, like after a certain time period.
After a certain time period. Okay.
Yeah, like it'll eventually crash your game.
Let's make some enemies. Enemy.
It's always Abaddons. Well, now it's
Nope.
Alchemist.
Not this time. Sounds really weird. All right, so I channel. All right, I choose the target I want it to go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks and have fun.
I don't know, dude. This is so weird. Tiny feels like he's changed so much.
And let me know about your rampage.
Yep. At least the
Ah.
cooldown's short.
Yeah, at least.
It's like the Warcraft 3 skill, Stampede. You're just chucking shit forward, hoping it hits something, no?
You'd want to pick up a tree before you do this. You're just killing lots of trees. It's a good counter to
Yep.
Timber Saw, I guess. So you need like a setup. It's, I don't know. Do you?
Now, instead of avalanche tossing someone, now you avalanche and you unload the tree army.
That sounds horrible. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of time. Here's a stun. All right. Actually, it does work. It does kind of work. What do you think? Do you like it?
So it applies on hit stuff. So if you have Daedalus, it's gonna do like completely ridiculous damage
Right.
because it's 0.4 over 2.4. So you have 6 trees potentially. Of course, that's gonna be your bottleneck most of the time. How many trees you actually have? But I don't know. It sounds not bad at all. I actually want to play Tiny now. I would buy this.
Man, you and I have had these conversations before about Tiny. I'm kind of sad the direction they took with him.
Yep, the whole tree grab nonsense.
Yeah. I'm just still sad about this hero. This does seem like a fun ability, but I don't know if it's actually good or not. I guess only time will tell. Treant Protector now has 0.5 base mana regen, and Nature's Guise has been reworked. It is now a self-cast ability with a 0.6 second cast time. No longer has a fade delay, nor gets interrupted on damage taken. Goes on cooldown after invisibility buff ends. There's the cooldown and mana cost. Nature's Guise movement speed bonus rescaled from 14, 18, 22, 26 to 20, 22, 24, 26. And Nature's Guise damage rescaled from 30, 90, 150, 210 to 60, 110, 160, 210. So this is like, is this just the old Nature's Guise with the new root mechanic? Is that what happened?
Yep. It's a nuke when you hit them, and you have, like, remember how Deadwood could walk through trees? It gives you that effect also.
Wait, what? What do you mean you can walk through trees?
Go into a lobby. You can walk through trees when you're Nature's Guide.
Was this the... So you're talking about a change from before that I didn't read about?
Yeah. It was a
Okay.
change from before where you got tree walking.
Oh, wow. Okay. That would have been helpful to know when I played Tree last. Which I don't know if that actually happened. Okay, interesting. So it doesn't go on cooldown until it breaks. It's only
Yeah, that part is weird.
only 4
'Cause it's
seconds.
got
Though.
yeah, but 10 at level 1, because now you can play tree. You invis and you punch the guy in front of you, but then it's on cooldown for 10 seconds afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because at level 1, you right click for like 90, then it's a 60 damage off of the breaking the invis too. It's actually a lot of damage, but the cooldown's kind of weird.
Another thing,
I don't
it's
know.
not like the old Nature's Guys where you can cast it on other heroes either, right? So it's just self-cast.
Yep. That was
Okay.
a big part of it, actually. Of the old one, you could
Yeah.
stealth your entire team and you set the trap.
All right, that's... interesting to say the least. Troll Warlord. I'm excited to read this one. The heck could they do?
This one is-
Scepter Upgrade reduces battle trance cooldown to 35 seconds and allows it to be cast on allied or enemy heroes. What? Last half duration on enemies. Cast range 525. What? So this is the ult where you can't die and you can't control your hero either, right?
Exactly. So now you can grief your teammates for the rest of the entire game. You know, crucial team fight comes up, Enigma's black holing, just battle trance him for fun. You know, break his black hole. You can do all sorts of garbage with this thing.
That is really weird. So this is the Chaos Knight effect, except you can actually troll with it.
But the only like real application that this thing looks like it has is you can use it on enemy support heroes so that they can't cast abilities. Actually, that's not true. Troll can cast abilities while he's battle tranced. Can't enemies do that too? I was thinking you use it on some. When you battle trance them, their hero is uncontrollable, but they can cast spells still. I thought that you could use it as like a way to silence them, basically.
Do I want to test this out?
I don't know. This one sounds like
I don't want to test that one. Yeah, that's not excited about this one. Tusk talents, level 20 talent changed from 300 snowball speed to -6 ice shards cooldown. 25 talent, they get rid of the ice shards cooldown, and now it's -7 snowball cooldown. And 25 talent increased from 12% chance to Walrus Punch to 15, and now uses pseudo random chance. So more less RNG technically, or less. It normalizes the RNG. Underlord, I mean, the Waller stuff is pretty funny when you see it, but I feel like, what's the other 25 talent? Oh, it's the -7 snowball cooldown.
Yeah.
Okay. Underlord, Pit of Malice. Pit of Malice radius increased from 375 to 390, and the cooldown has been reduced by 2 at all levels. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Undying Soul Rip cast point improved from 0.45 to 0.35. Tombstone zombies now treat illusions like creeps, requiring 2 hits to kill rather than 1. And Tombstone takes 1/4 damage from creeps / illusions rather than half. Okay. That's nice for Undying, I suppose.
Yep. Slight buffs to the Tombstone because it's heavily countered by illusions and some.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is actually really interesting.
All right. Vengeful Spirit. Go ahead.
So the Nether swap previously had no cooldown after you used the first swap. So if you sat there and spam swap on some guy, it would actually queue up the second swap. So you would swap twice, and then you would just end up looking really stupid. But now there's a 0.25 second cooldown, so you don't look so stupid anymore when you double swap someone. Now it's just, if you do it with the cooldown, now you're truly stupid.
Yeah. It's happened to everybody. It happens to everybody.
I did this yesterday when I played Venge, and I got laughed at big time. It was embarrassing.
Well, now if you do it, it's even more embarrassing because you got that cooldown. Yep. Veno base intelligence increased by 2, base attack speed increased by 15, and the level 15 talent increased from 8% poison sting slow to 12. What does that compare with? Gale hero impact summons 2 wards. I remember when they put this in. I'm guessing people get that one then, the Gale.
Yeah, most people get that because it scales better with the eventual talents that you'll get later.
Yeah, the 3x Plague Ward.
Yeah.
Visage, also known as Visage, base magic resistance increased from 10 to 25%, which is the default unless they changed it for all heroes. Back to normal again. Summon familiars, health rescaled by 150, and then the same at level 3. Okay. I don't like that hero. Never did. Something about him.
Still won't be picked because his birds do no damage at level.
Warlock Chaotic Offering Scepter now lands the second golem 0.4 seconds after the first, rather than both at the same time. Wow, I think that's a pretty big buff, right?
Yeah,
that's huge. That's really nice.
It only took forever.
Yeah, It almost felt like sometimes you're like, do I want to do this? Do I want to get this Ags? Because you get 2 lesser beings, right? They only stun once. It was always kind of weird.
Yeah.
Fatal Bonds count rescaled from 3, 4, 5, 6 to 6. And the damage from 25% to 13, 17, 21, 25. And the level 25 talent increased from 20 golem armor to 25. Okay. Weaver now has 0.4 base mana regen. And base attack speed increased from 100 to 120. And Wind Ranger.
Okay.
Let's see, how many Ags do we have left? Only a couple, my friend. Nothing. All the rest of these heroes technically have Ags. So I guess we're done with the craziness. Rework Scepter for Windrunner now adds 2 charges to Windrun and increases movement speed by 45%. Wait, what? All right, we'll get back to this in a second. Focus Fire cooldown reduced from 70 to 70, 50, 30. Wait, that's just the normal cooldown now. So Ags doesn't do that anymore. Level 10 talent changed from 30% wind run slow to -2 second shackle shot cooldown. 25 talent, 35% mini stun focus fire to 20% focus fire damage reduction. So the Scepter is not even remotely the same anymore. The hell?
No, the Scepter before was built like after you had damage, so you could start, one-shotting people in it. Now it's defensive, I guess, right? 2 charges of wind run with more movements. How weird.
So all right, so the focus fire cooldown reduction is huge if you still go damage, but it doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the reason you got Ags other than the cooldown is because it actually was able to proc off items, which I don't think it does by default. Correct?
No, it did. It just it was at a reduced damage rate, and with the Ags, it was at 100% damage.
So now it's going to be reduced damage regardless.
Right.
30% damage reduction. I don't know if I like
then
this
you
one.
have then you have the 25 talent to make it minus 10%. But before that talent was cooldown reduction, a lot of cooldown reduction. So this one just seems all over the place. It's meant to like not be so much about focus. Oh,
you still have the 25. The other one is still though. This is. I feel like you have to change how you build her. Maybe.
It's like, okay, I get it. Like, now you have like 2 different build paths, right? One's more focused around the ultimate. One's more focused around cooldown reduction. You also have shackle shot cooldown reduction at level 10, potentially. So it's just like it gives you 2 different play styles. I still think the focus fire dealing damage is probably going to be the most preferred one, but now the game gives you options instead of telling you to click this one every time.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the first one I've come across that, I mean, I know some of them are really weird. This one it took an Ags that people built consistently and it's just changed it to be totally different. So it's less exciting now as well, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So not a big fan of that one on first glance. Winter Wyvern, Arctic Burn, Scepter mana cost per second reduced from 40 to 30. Love to see more Ags on Winter Wyvern. I think that build is super fun to watch. Witch Doctor, Death Ward damage increased from 75, 125, 175. Oh, it's just 10. 10 increase at all levels. All right, excellent. That's weird. I feel like we haven't seen that in a long time. Buff to Death Ward. Feels like a very stable skill. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
The whole game has had power creeps, and poor Witch Doctor still has that dinky death. It's time for some buffs.
And Zeus, hey, if you want to buff him, just make it the old Ricky Death Ward where you can actually move around. You don't have to channel it. That would be pretty nice. Zeus now has 0.25 base mana regen. Attack point improved from 0.633 to 0.45. And the 10 talent changed from 6 armor to 3 mana regen. So now it's between XP gain and mana regen. That's intriguing.
Oof. XP versus mana regen. I still want the XP.
Of course. You can't buy the tomes, I guess, but
Now there's 2 tomes for you to use for your XP.
For your mid Zeus, yes.
Yeah. The attack point is interesting. I wonder how much of a difference that's actually going to make.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Zeus
Well,
though.
there's only one way to find out.
God damn it, Brax. I mean, I guess I have played this hero kind of recently, so. No items. This is the beginning of the game. It feels exactly the same to me.
Oh boy, it looks the same too.
It doesn't feel any different.
Maybe
Still
this
just
is a
as
bug.
bad at last hitting.
Maybe they forgot to actually implement it.
Or maybe
And
that
maybe-
level of change doesn't make any difference. There's also that.
Maybe the secret buff is just placebo, so people will feel good and they like want
Yeah.
to play Zeus. And shit.
That would be so funny. All right, so that is the end of the 7.22 patch review. What do you think of this patch overall? Does anything stand out for you?
What a whole lot of nothing, honestly. Isn't that how you feel too? Like, there's so many little changes, but so few of them are actually meaningful.
Well, I feel the opposite. I mean,
Really?
well, not that they're like, okay, let me rephrase this. The fun factor from my side, since I am hardcore into Agonal Scepter, this is the best patch ever. Everybody has an Ags now, all right? Everyone. Whether it's complete dog shit or god tier, we don't know yet. You can never know. So,
Yes, I just looked through this patch and like half the change are like, hey, Phantom Lancer got a 0.2 strength gain per level. Oh, Vladimir's lost 0.1 health regen per second and 0.25 mana or something. It's like everything seems so minuscule. Like the main things that affect me, of course, are the captain's draft shit, the observer wards, the tomes. Like that's like the game changing stuff, but it's not something you feel in the game, you know? It's like, oh, it's 25 gold cheaper, cool. But something like, for example, Arc Warden, summoning runes, like that's something that has like some direct impact, something you can actually see, something concrete, but nobody's going to notice that you saved 100 gold over 4 wards. I mean, maybe they will, but it's not going to feel good. Unlike, spawning double damage and haste or something like that.
all right, but going back to the Agonal Scepter changes, Brax, the whole idea of Roshan dropping it and the idea that you don't have to have a slot for it. Don't you think that even though it is fun and I know it's memey in a lot of levels, I feel like this is a consistent thing that will be like you have to be more familiar with Agonal Scepter now as a pro player. I know that sounds stupid because everybody assumes pro players know everything. I owned a team. I promise you, I knew the Ags better than my team. I fucking promise you. Like I would tell them, like they'd be, what does this Ags do? I mean, I just tell them. Like you can't keep track of everything. My passion just happens to be something useless that has become something very important now, thanks to Roshan.
That's very true. The game is always changing. But now I feel like I'm going to go into third Roshan and be like, please, I need this refresher show. I want 2 fucking Ravages here. I don't want some stupid ranged stuff. It's like, guys, if Rasta gets this refresher, we can end the game. We can throw the snakes at the base and then boom, he gets an Axidoms and we're like, all right, let's wait for the next Rosh.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll be cool, but
I mean, think about it.
I'm
thinking about this from
and they're just stab us.
I do appreciate your viewpoint because it's a pro player's viewpoint, right? I can definitely understand that, but you have to see it from my side. Even you haven't been casting recently, but you're a caster as well. Just imagine having a conversation with me about the next Roshan. If it's dropping Ags, like who will he give it to? Imagine the throw possibilities of giving it to the worst possible target because the team doesn't know the Ags yet. That's the kind of shit that I live for. Seriously.
That's
Makes
when
me
you
feel
can see
sad.
people pause after Roche dies and they're like, wait, do I pick it up? Give it is a no, that'll be good actually. That's
how
nice.
teams have coaches and analysts? You need an Agonim's analyst, a specific role just to tell you what each hero's Agonal Scepter does and who it should go to. And for those asking, by the way, I got a lot of tweets. The Ags tier list that I've had a lot of fun doing. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to take it more seriously. I'm going to take pro player input into account. We're going to have some formulas, so that's not just my opinion, although my opinion should matter a little bit because memes do matter, as is evidenced by this entire patch. All right. So, yeah. Anything else, Brax?
No, I'm interested to see like there's always little Easter eggs, right? There's like these little tiny changes that actually end up changing everything. Maybe this is a buff to Alchemist. Maybe you're gonna have 5-position Alchemists in your game sitting there. I'm buying an Agonim's for you. That's my gameplay. That'd make you so fucking happy. I'm pretty sure.
That 30 damage and 6 spell amp. Oh boy.
Maybe there's something that'll change the way the game is played that we just don't notice yet.
Yeah, that's always the exciting thing with like really big patches. Something's forgotten, and then it ends up being super OP. So
Exactly.
yeah, it should be fun. If you guys made it, this is not in reference to people watching on the live stream, but if you guys have watched us all the way through on YouTube, please let us know via Twitter, SUNSfan TV, and of course Brax, my boy. Even though you still haven't changed your Twitter handle for some reason, at Brax Likes Dota.
Yeah, it's good. It rolls off the tongue. Why would I change it?
Excellent. Anyway, if you're watching via YouTube, thanks for watching. And until next time, SUNSfan and Brax signing out.